We got Miss Nat in the house.
What's up?
What's up, baby?
What's up? What'd you call me, baby? Nothing.
Nothing.
Just working a lot. Got some drinks in me, so I'm excited to be here.
There you go. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. We've been trying to do this for like a week, and there you go.
That was my drink. Yeah.
Try to land it softly.
Sorry about that.
So, how did you get into dancing? I guess we'll start there because like that's what your main gig is, right? What do you say?
Yes, that is my.
Like that's what you came out to LA for, right?
Yes, that is my passion, career, choice. The reason why I like picked up and moved from Florida to LA. It's been like 7 years now, almost 8, which is insane.
And where were you from?
Daytona
Okay.
Beach, Florida.
Oh, so you're a Florida girl too.
Yeah, like
That's what's up.
Central Florida, where nothing happens. But
Go ahead and bring the mic like closer to your chin. So pull it from the back. There we go. Yeah, and then pull it towards you. There we go.
Closer?
Cool. There you go. Perfect.
oh, okay, right there. Yeah, I've been on here 8 years. It was very different from Florida, but I grew up dancing. It was just something that I think my mom kind of just signed me up with when I was like 4.
Did you start with like ballet,
Yes.
tap? Why do people need to know tap? I'm so confused by that.
It helps with rhythm a lot.
Really?
Musicality, rhythm, your feet, like strength and where your feet are in space is
Okay.
really important with dancing. So
But there's no like fucking like professional tap dancers that like go on tour with like all the people that you look up to, or you know,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a very...
niche.
It's very niche and very hard to perfect and like really, I don't know, draw people into, but there's a lot of people that are successful with it that go professionally. It's just they usually teach or they do, yeah, it's like a niche specialty group. You know, you don't really see it these days. It's kind of getting to be a lost
So
art.
do you think it's like important for like people who want to like become like dancers professionally to do like all these intro dances, like the structure of like ballet, tap, I don't know what else there is, jazz,
Modern. I
Okay.
think those are very important.
What's modern?
Modern is like it's very lateral, like lined. It's kind of like ballet, but not. It's very parallel. It's more African influenced movement, but
Is it slow? Is it kind of like smooth and silky
it's
still?
a little
Okay.
slow. There's still like textures in there. It's like a mix of ballet and some African movements, but it's very technical. It's like it's like the opposite of ballet, but not. I can't explain it.
All good.
Anyway.
What would you say your like your category is now, or your style of dance?
I would definitely say fusion. It's more like contemporary jazz funk. Like I'm very athletic, so I like to do fusion or jazz funk.
Yeah.
Fusion's like a mixture of contemporary and like jazz.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Did you play sports growing up?
No, I absolutely did not. I tried to play volleyball in high school, and I went to like one practice, and it was just I was like, no, I don't. I need to dance. I was like, I want to dance, and I want to put my energy there.
Yeah, so you already gravitated toward dance, but you were athletic, you said. So you had all these like other,
athletic.
you probably, I mean, you're a personal trainer right now, and like you work out, like you're fit.
I did a little gymnastics. Like I
Okay.
started with gymnastics when I was like 4 to 10. I really went to like gymnastics camps, and then we did a little acro in my studios, and then in middle school I went to like an acro heavy studio.
Is
So
acro similar to like what Vic does out here and stuff like that? Like it's not acro yoga, but it's like cheer type of stuff?
balancing and like front walkovers and
Okay.
less like powerful like gymnastics, but it's more fluid
Yeah.
and more balancing stuff. So yeah, that's...
Do you think those helped like you become like a better dancer?
Yeah, I feel like
A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because there's a lot of like dancers out here who are personal trainers, who are like gymnasts, who are like stretch people, and like I feel like they go hand in hand. Like I didn't know dancing was a thing, by the way, before I met Kev. Like
Dancing?
dancing, I didn't know
Professionally?
Yes, I didn't know that was a big industry. So
Okay.
like
Until
literally,
you met Kev?
yeah,
Kevy?
So, Kevy.
Why? What did he do?
So he just like dated a lot of dancers.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, but
dead
like,
as fuck.
Kev, shouts out, bro.
My bad. I keep doing that shit.
Chill, Nat. Chill.
Oh man, I'm already drunk.
But I didn't know that was a thing. And like being around a lot of dancers now since like, so me and Nat met at F45. And like, there's a lot of dancers who like, are you okay?
I'm good. I took a big sip. Keep going. Carry on.
There's a lot of dancers at F45. And I didn't know like the body awareness is like a different level of like body awareness, because like I feel like I'm pretty self-aware of my body. I can put myself in certain positions, but then like I've taken a couple classes at Playground, like
Oh my god, really? Who?
2019. I forgot his name. It's like
Dexter? No.
he's
Guy?
like 5'8", skinny, like white
Guy?
boy
Guy?
guy.
Yeah.
And it was like hip hop, and I was just, my brain was hurting. I couldn't put my body in these positions, and I was like, wow, like this is a talent, you know, this is insane. I thought I was self-aware of my body, but there's levels to this game, you know.
Well, that's why they have so many mirrors in dance studios, so you can really be aware of where your body's going in each like step. But yeah, and like dancers, we really get focused on the mirror. That's why like we seem vain sometimes, but we are always sometimes.
I feel like gym bros are vain too, though. They always be flexing.
Yeah, because we're
shit.
always around mirrors. Like a lot of gyms have a lot of mirrors, but you are aware of your body. But like it's different from working out and doing the same movement patterns with just more weight than dancing. That's like different movement patterns, but you also have to listen to the music, and you also have to look good and keep your posture, and like it doesn't. Yeah.
So back to like rewind a little bit. We were talking about like you getting into dance.
Yeah.
And so obviously you liked it. Your parents got you into it.
I loved it. I think I remember sitting my parents down when I was like 4 or 5.
You sat your parents down.
I was like 4 or 5.
Okay.
I sat them down. I said, hey, no. I remember putting on like a show for them, and they were sitting on like the bunk bed, old bunk beds that my sister had.
Yeah.
And I remember dancing to.
I love that you sat them down.
I remember. I was dancing to NSYNC for them. I think this might have been right after
Justin Timberlake, correct?
It was probably Dirty Pop. It was definitely
Justin
Dirty
Timberlake,
Pop.
right? That's NSYNC. Okay.
Yes. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dirty Pop, probably. And I think it might have been right after I started or right before, but I was just doing like whatever the fuck. Like I literally don't even remember. I looked ridiculous, but I remember showing them.
So you just put on a show for them.
I remember showing them, and I think they were like, okay, we need to like keep her.
Do you have a video of this? I kind of want to see it.
Hell to the no. I don't even know how I remembered that, but I think that's when they were like, okay, let's keep her in dance, blah, blah, blah. And then I just grew with it, and then I got more serious.
Because there's a lot of kids out there who get introduced to, like, I don't know, dance or soccer or, like, whatever, and they're like, Mom, I hate this shit. And then the mom and dad are like, no, you're staying in it.
Well, yeah, and my mom and dad are not artistic at all. Like, my dad was the athlete. Like, he played semi-professional, like, minor league baseball, and he was a football player. And he coached high school, you know, football and all that. But my mom was just like a hard worker. She kind of helped raise her brothers, and you know, was working at 15, 16 and had her first child at like 23. So she was always just like a hard worker.
Dang. And shouts out to your
but
mom.
my dad was the athletic, but nobody was like really artistic or sang in my family. So I think that's what made them like, okay, she like made them be very what the fuck is the word? I can't think of the word.
Oh
my god. I do this all the time.
Artistic? I mean, artistic's definitely a thing.
Objective view, something like subjective.
So, okay, subjective. Is it of you? She thought she like recognized your objectively
or from a non-biased view. Here we go. A non-biased view of, you know, not being in that world. And she was like, okay, this is cool. Let's keep her in there. Yeah. And then once I got in high school, I just kept moving to different places that would be more and more would serve me better with my dance training. And then I got more and more serious. And then I would see my friends move out to LA. And then I was like, okay, if they can do this, I can do this. Like maybe that's what I want to do.
Is LA like the dance mecca of like the world?
For sure.
Because
like,
there's New York too, right?
Here in New York, they're very different, but I feel like
different in what way?
New York's definitely more like theatrical based, like with
so like Broadway and shit like that.
Broadway, but also television. There's like the same amount of television there, but there's not really many opportunities, I feel like, for touring or for even like live award shows. There's not many in New York. It's a lot in LA, or they hire from LA and bring them to New York.
Yeah. So basically, like from high school, like you saw all your friends who were in. Did you go to a regular high school?
Yeah.
So it wasn't an art high school.
It was not. It was not private. It was public as fuck. I saw my first fight. I saw a fight on the first day in freshman year, and it was wild. Like, but I did.
Were you like shocked, like when you saw that fight?
A little, because it was a lot. Like hair was flying, and like you know.
I went to a private school until 8th grade, and then went to a public high school. And the first day of my public high school, I saw like a couple like making out on the lockers and like rolling around making out, and I was like, "Whoa,
damn!"
And I went to like a private like kindergarten through 8th grade.
Well, you know what? Private school is the worst with that shit. I'm surprised y'all weren't sucking dick at 14, because that shit was happening at my middle school.
That's wild. That's wild. No, like in 8th grade, Nate was like, you hold a girl's hand. That's like,
no,
that's normal.
We were making out. Not we. I was not, but people were making out in middle school for sure. Like
really
during school dances and shit. But anyway, I went to
you went to a gnarly high school or middle school.
No, it was Daytona. It was just white trash everywhere. but high school, like the middle of high school, I was like, kind of fuck this, but I did dual enrollment. Do you know dual enrollment?
Yeah, so you're at both places?
Like college and high school at the same time. So it was like a community college. So it wasn't that hard. It was hard, but it was a community college.
So you got some college credits, right?
I did, and I ended up, and it was all free, which was great. And I ended up doing that so much that I graduated high school with my AA degree.
Oh, that's so.
So I have a 2-year degree. I mean, that's it. But
hey, that's better than most people who come out here.
It's something, because I started in 10th grade. And usually people start in 11th grade.
Yeah, I feel like most dancers come out here like right after high school.
Yeah, I only waited a year. I moved out at 19. Yeah, but people 17 or 18 people come out, and I'm like, I wish I waited until like 21 at least.
Really?
Or
Why?
20.
Why?
Maybe like 20, and like taught a little more in Florida, just because like. I mean, it's something that everybody says when they grow up, slow down, da da da. But when you're in that moment, you just want to like.
You're so eager to go to the next step,
Yeah, you see your friends at like 20 or 23 booking these tours, and you're like, oh, I have to be there. Blah, blah, blah.
But you don't know like so it sounds very romantic from like a objective standpoint from someone who's not doing it. There you go.
It's word of the day.
But I feel like you're not. Like you kind of want to enjoy your time not being like busy and doing those things, because like I feel like dancing every day and just like choreographing, because you do choreography too, right? And I feel like just working, doing all that from the get versus like I feel like if you teach, like you learn. Like I don't know if
for sure.
I don't know, like for example, for me, for personal training, I'm a way better, I guess, like athlete, or in terms of like just person who works out, because I coach it. If you teach your movement, you have a better chance of understanding it better for yourself.
The moment I got my certification, I like understood weightlifting better, and I wasn't as scared to like lift weights, even if it's not that heavy. Like I really don't go too heavy. People think I like, bust that shit out because I'm muscular, but like,
dude, you're built.
I don't, bitch. I'd be doing like chest flies with like 15, 18 pounds, and people think I'm like,
I know.
I really
but if you have good form and stuff though, that like that's how you build like hypertrophy though.
And I like engage my shit though, like all that ballet and dance shit. Yeah. It makes you like feel your body while
people
you're doing it.
People will just like swing weights and they think like they're working out, but like in reality, if you want your muscles to grow, you gotta engage it, like squeeze really hard. I mean, it sounds ridiculous.
Sometimes I do it too much. I'm like a little too tense, but it's like a nice. But anyway, what were we talking about?
Choreography, about just how you moved to like LA and stuff like that, and how you got your AA in terms of like that.
Wow, that was the whole thing, the whole spectrum. What were we just talking about? I don't know. Fuck.
Well, I wanted to talk about choreography real quick.
Oh, okay. Yes, we were talking about learning while you were teaching.
Yes.
I was gonna say I'm sure you would bring this up. I recently assisted on Doja Cat's Coachella performance.
Yeah. Congrats. That's dope, right?
Thank you. But it was very random, and it was something that you know, a lot of things in the industry happen very randomly, and it happens who you know, or like people see your credentials and then they want to work with you. And I feel like it was a combination of all of that. But anyway, I was just in the right place at the right time, and I auditioned for that as a dancer, and I left. I'm not gonna lie, I left like pretty like defeated, just because I got cut the first round. It was just something that wasn't for me. I think it was like my look, and then also like he's very specific in what he was looking for. So, but I did, because I have auditioned for him before, and I've made it far, so that was discouraging to get cut first. But then this opportunity comes up, and he hires me, and I end up working on that job and learning way more than I would have as a dancer. Yeah. So, and I still got paid good. I got paid pretty good. And I got to go to Coachella, which was pretty cool. And like, and to work and build that trust with people is very crucial in this industry.
What's the difference between actually dancing and I guess like assisting in choreography?
I think assisting, there's an assistant choreography position, and then there's an assistant. I was an assistant, which is like more of a creative support, like emotional.
So what would you be doing on that job?
Like an emotional creative support. So he would, you know, ask me if this looks good, or like clean something for him, run these dancers for him, and make sure this formation's good, or he would like, you know, start and stop the music, little stuff like that. And also, I mean, like very random stuff, but maybe like create a ripple. It'd be like, hey, create a transition here that looks good, or you know, make sure this girl's okay. She's been a little like low energy, stuff like that. Like check in on the dancers too.
Okay, so it's like more of just like emotional support and checking things, like reaffirming stuff like that. Yeah,
being like that gateway from him to the dancers too.
Because I think you are a dancer as well, so you understand what they're feeling and all that as well.
Yeah, and he does not have time to be like answering questions to every dancer.
Yeah, he's just like, this is how it is.
His focus is
telling
on
you to do it, like check them.
Yeah, his focus is on the artist and like the creative side. So
how was I guess like meeting Doja Cat and stuff like that, because like in today's era she is like a very big deal, you know?
She's so cool, she's so funny. Like she really is fucking hilarious and like all the time. And she's very sassy. She has a sense of humor, but she's very kind to those that are I would say quote below her, or like, you know, like not on her level or above her,
like status and
she's
stuff like
very
that.
nice to, like, she was very inclusive, and you know, she wasn't like over the top, you know, too nice to everybody, but she's respectable. She's not a diva. She's just very funny, and
I like to hear that. It's interesting because like just being in LA, we're surrounded by like a lot of like famous people, I guess, like quote unquote famous people. And I think you and me specifically, because like you work with like dancers and like artists in this world, are kind of looked at like on a pedestal. And like for me, I'm working at like a Tao Group restaurant, and like there's a ton of high-end celebrities coming in, and just like you see them on screen, you see them on like court, you see them on stage.
You don't know how they're gonna be in person.
And you don't know how they're gonna be in person.
You
and
really
it's
don't.
really cool to see that.
And
or
half
like,
of them look like shit in person.
Damn, Nat, you're talking the most shit, bro. You gonna take that?
No. I mean, hey.
It is what it is.
Camera, makeup.
No, it's accurate though. It's
half
hard.
Of them.
It's hard to be on all the time.
I said half of them.
I know. It's hard to be on all the time though, because if you think about these people, they have like stylists, they got makeup artists, you have all these things that they have to go through day to day, you know?
No, I just took headshots, and everyone I posted selfies and everything.
You're a good girl.
Oh my god, you look so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, because I had 5 people fucking helping me on that shit. Like, yeah, but I mean, yeah, if somebody on the shoot was like, yeah, nobody's ugly, you're just poor. And that's so true.
Wow, that's gonna be the name of the episode, guys. No one's ugly, you're just poor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's facts though, because you see these people like in their previous life, and they're like, wow, like,
dude,
you're
I
a
look
different
good
person.
on Friday, and I had like 5 people.
So what's the importance of headshots?
Oh man, I think every dancer knows how important.
Like, there's a lot of people who are in LA who are like, so example, I'm a bartender. I have like a headshot on my resume as a bartender.
As a bartender?
As a bartender. In LA.
Well, I mean, if you want to work at what, Soho House and like
Yeah, kind of.
high-end...
But like even a lot of jobs out here, they have like a headshot in LA or a picture of yourself. Like
headshot for a bartender?
It's wild.
My dad would gag. My dad's a bartender, or was like a bartender on the side.
Yeah, but
he would shit himself.
You hear about that like in a small hometown like mine or anything like that. They're like, what? What's a headshot, bro? But like for a job like dance, like what are the importance of that? Is it so like because they're looking for a type of look?
It's important
right?
because yes, dancers are very. It's still very look driven within the dance world. We like to act like it's not, but it is, especially when it comes to what artist it is. So that's one thing. It depends on your look. It shows off your body, like what features are like your best, and also these days with COVID, there's like. They don't like to have big auditions anymore. So they pick who they even want in that room based on your photo. Oh, really? Which can be edited as fuck.
Regardless of how good of a dancer you are.
Yep. And it could be edited as fuck, and you could be whack as fuck in person, which is what is really getting to me these days because, I mean, the photos I just took, I feel like will really help me, but I know dancers that are like not it. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're whack, but they're just not it for me, and they get called on so many auditions, and I mean they end up, you know, maybe booking, maybe not, but even them getting called is like crazy to me half the time, but because they have a dope photo. And I think that's with Instagram and like everything being online, I think that's the world, the direction
that we're transitioning to right now,
which makes me sad because the energy in person is so different than a photo, which is even on Instagram, a video, it's so different than in person.
I also feel like those old auditions when people would like literally come in thousands or hundreds to like an audition, like you get to see all these people in person. Like there's more talent there than just a photo, you know?
And you get to see them who fights and like, who's on no matter what kind of day they had or what the fuck work day they had. Who's on all the time.
Why don't you think they care about it as much? Just time wise?
I think COVID. Time. I think like they're scared of COVID. I think that it saves a lot of time. And I think that people really are still kind of I hate to say this, but it's a little clout driven. Like what is on your Instagram, how many followers you have, who you've worked with, like who follows you. It's a little of that too. Like people don't want to say that, but I think it's a little of that. And there's been auditions in the last like even 5 years ago they were asking how many followers you have on your resume.
What?
Yes. I remember going to like a Target commercial audition. It must have been 2015 or 16, and they said put how many followers you have. I think I had like 4,000 at the time. I was
back then they were asking that.
Swear to God, yeah.
That's wild.
It was
so you just did a what would you call it for the Machine Gun Kelly song?
Oh, Ian Dior. It was like a concept video.
A concept video. Yeah. So first off, it was super cool. Like I watched it like probably 20 times.
Oh.
No, like, it was very cool because like.
That means a lot.
The beauty that I see in like choreography now, like learning more about like dancers, like I have a girlfriend who's a dancer, like I know a lot of dancers as well. That whole vision of like that video was like in your brain, right? And you kind of just like
it was exact in my brain for like a year though, but I perfected it and it didn't come out exact, but it was
pretty close.
Very close,
right? And you portrayed it on screen with these dancers and like objectively from like someone who doesn't dance, I'm like, oh, there's probably only like
objectively
there's probably only like 200 300 dance moves that someone could do or like whatever. There's like thousands, millions, whatever you want to say, but you created this thing in your brain and all these moving parts are humans that like you kind of choreographed, put together and made this beautiful video. And I'm just like, wow, that's so amazing. Like, where do you think that come from? Where do you think these ideas come as a choreographer to move your body in certain spots? Because like, for me, I think I can't think that way because I can't put my body in a lot of those positions, right?
Okay, yeah.
But you have an arsenal of like, oh, I could do all these movements. How can I put all like ones together with other people to make a piece of art?
You know what? I think everyone's process is different with creating choreography, but for me, I listen to the song like a million times. Like, I can't even tell you
like
how
on
many.
repeat.
I
Like,
can't.
just...
Yes, I can't even tell you how many times I listen to that song. I will look it up on my phone and give you an answer later. But and I just see what I want to see with movement like wise. But I will just improv and like record myself improving to the song and see what looks good or see what comes out consistently. And I think I will watch the video and try to make it. So
will you like kind of freestyle to the song first? First? Okay.
Yeah, and then I think I like to record it and to see what I keep doing or what looks good or what I can piece together. And then I don't know, choreographing is just such a different process for everyone.
It's weird because like for example, like I watched your video, right? And I didn't really like the song when I just listened to it.
Oh my God, I love it.
But listening to the song while looking at the visual made me understand the song more, if that makes sense at all.
Yes, that was the whole point. I love to hear that.
You know? And like
I love the song. Oh my God, I heard it on the radio. In
you listen to radio, bro?
The beginning of I'm 50 years old. I mean, when it's, you know, it just happened to be on, but it was the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
I heard it and I was like, wait, this is Machine Gun Kelly. But it wasn't his name on the thing. It was Andy Orr featuring Machine Gun Kelly. So I was like, oh, this is cool that they're playing a song he's featured on, because he was like blowing up like in 2021.
Machine Gun Kelly had like peaks and valleys, bro. Like,
yeah,
you either love him or you hate him.
Oh my God, I love him. But I heard the song and I listened to the lyrics. The lyrics was like really rung true, because it was like, I've been losing my mind, and everyone was in quarantine losing their fucking mind. We were in our second like lockdown in January 2021. We went in lockdown again.
Yeah.
And but I'm stuck in a drought. I guess I'll start again. And it was just like, I was like, wow. And then it said sick and tired of love, and I was going through like a time where I was like, you know, not having luck with, you know, finding love and being like, found myself with somebody else that didn't want anything serious, and I was just like, okay, here we go again. And so it kind of just,
so those words
fucking hit. And then I immediately like, I was like, okay, I got in the studio and started to do something. And then just over time I was like, what if I made a concept video to this? And then with money and like time and resources, it just pushed it back another year.
Sure.
So
it's cool that you executed though, because there's a lot of people who have ideas that just like passes their brain and it keeps on going, and then you don't do anything about it.
No, this one was so, I know I have so many fucking ideas, but this one was so important, and I knew I wanted to like. Why
was it important? Like, why did this one like make it so important to you?
I feel like it's gonna get a little heavy. I've never had like luck with love ever. I've been through like a couple heartbreaks, but also I think the idea of just using guys and being like, okay, another guy, another guy, another guy, another guy, okay, another guy, like this is not, and nothing coming out of it is just like, it's very parallel to my love life a little bit, and it's like me, but then like also accepting love that I think I deserve, and it's always been like that shitty, I care about you but I don't love you kind of love, you know. And I think this was my way of like getting that out there, that like
express your feelings.
I'm fucking sick and tired of it. Every video, every, you know, creation of mine is a reflection of my life. There's a choreographer named Sandra Chavez, and she very recently said this to a class. She said, if you want to know me, look at my work. She goes, if you want to know my life, look at my work. If you want to know who I am, I think she said, look at my work.
Look at my work.
And I was like, that's literally me. Even like my little concept videos I make over time, those lyrics, those ideas, like are all what's going on in my life at that point. And looking back, I've done a lot of those, but all of those songs like were related to my life. So this one was very important because I'm just like sick and tired, and something happened like right before that video that made me want to do that video like ASAP. Like another one that was
what do you define love as? Because if you're trying to look for it and like find it, you have to know what it is, and you have to have your own definition of it, right?
I don't know. I don't think that that's true, huh?
What do you mean that's true?
You need to have your own definition?
Well, if you're looking for something, you have to already know like what it is.
What you're looking for.
Right?
I know what you're saying, but I think that love is not something that you can define. I think it's just something that happens.
Yeah.
I think it's just not, you can't like have any expectations. That's my problem. I have too much expectations for people, and I always get like let down.
Yeah, because like it sounds like I believe that whatever you give out into the world, like you will receive, you know? And it sounds really ridiculous, but like, hear me out. Like most of my friends or even my girlfriend and everything like that, like I almost tell them every day that I love them. My friends, my guy friends kind of find it weird. They're like, did he really just say that type of deal? Because I really genuinely care about like all my friends, and I really love them, and I would do like a lot for them. And I really feel like, yeah, if you really portray and set the intention out in the world, you'll find what you're looking for.
Okay, but in love, I feel like love
that too.
is okay.
That too.
So you said
I'm just saying it's like
exude
both.
love, and you'll receive love, and then eventually you'll find your person.
In my opinion.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of people out there who like don't find it ever, and I think it's
fuck. Don't say.
No, but I think it's because they don't have the true intention of finding it.
Okay.
Like, I think you have to be happy and completely in love with yourself to find love. And because I had a really dark time in my life. I had probably a couple of years where I just didn't love myself and I couldn't find love or like whatever. And then I was in my apartment during COVID. There was tanks on Santa Monica. Shit was crazy in LA. People were rioting, and I read every day, I journaled every day, and I worked out every day. I learned to love myself, and then like
Wow, your quarantine was the complete opposite of mine. I was fucked, man. Yeah. I was like the worst time in my life because I got in a car accident.
Shit, I'm sorry.
And I didn't have a car during like all of COVID where you can fucking drive anywhere.
Yeah.
And it was just
driving in LA was insane during COVID. It was dope.
Oh my god, you fucking bitch.
Sorry, I'm just.
I didn't have one until I didn't have a car from March. Well, I mean, I got a little bit of it. I didn't have a car from March 2020 to October 2020.
Okay.
So, it was a stupid accident that my insurance didn't cover, blah, blah, blah. Fucking up the ass, $12,000 of shit I had to pay.
Yeah.
So it made me like more depressed than like everyone else. Like it was, than most people. Not dancing, barely working, like... Mm-hmm. My car was shit, I had gotten another accident. So, what were we talking about?
Love. Well, how did you get your...
Anyway, no, my COVID was shit, and then like 2021, I became a fucking brand new bitch, and now I was like,
how did you get out of that?
Oh my god, I got a new car. That's what I did.
It's that easy, guys.
It's that easy.
If you're depressed, if you're sad, all you got to do is get a new car.
Get a car. Get a fucking new car. But not now because the market is shit. Everything's shit right now.
Yeah, everything's tough out here.
Everything's shit.
So what do you love most about dance? Because obviously it gives you a outlet to express who you are as a person. But like there has to be more to that.
I think it's has to do with... I think it has to do with me expressing myself. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get a little dark again. Not dark again, but I feel like as a child I held in a lot of emotions. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was my way of expressing them was dance. Like I really was... I wasn't... And like... my household wasn't that strict, but it was strict. Mm-hmm. Like wasn't allowed to do much outside of my house, but they weren't like, pray or like making me do shit. It was just
pray.
Oh my god, I just brought religion into this.
That's on one, guys.
So many people with this.
No, you are who you are.
Oh fuck yeah, and that's something I've grown to like do throughout the years is just be who I am and not be afraid to express my shit.
I love that. So like the first time the first time I met you, it was like at F45.
It was outside. We did an outside class. And I think I was late.
And you were late. Every time...
I'm still late. Whenever I coach
Every time I coach with Nat, she's like 5 minutes late.
Only when I coach with him. I texted you the same text I sent a year ago.
And she was like, wow.
The other day, it was the same exact text I said, I'm going to be there right at 12.
Yeah, that's an odd one. But when I first met you,
I'm fucking dead.
like, you just don't have, like, you have, a unique look, so you stand out in the crowd. Like, you had a blonde.
I had my blonde, yeah.
What do you call that?
I miss it. Just a blonde streak.
A blonde streak in her hair. Like, she has somewhat of, like, a gothic look, and her tone is very, like, it's not aggressive, but it's, like, firm and warming at the same time. It's like, who is this? Like, you're very interesting. No, I'm serious.
I appreciate that.
No, I'm serious.
I
And
love
I
that.
think it makes you...
Please say more.
It makes you, like, somewhat of, like, a center of attention. People are paying attention to you. And it wanted me to know, like, more about you.
I'm an enigma.
I'm serious.
Well, I appreciate that because I am, like, I look ethnic, but I'm from Florida and I'm very American. So I feel like that, A, interests people. B, I'm, like, I'm emo as fuck. Like, I'm emo as fuck, but I have a sense of humor.
What made you think that way? Be that way? Because, one, emo was, like, so 2005.
2006, yes, 2005. I think it was my influence with my little tattoo here. The bands, like, that I grew up with, like, My Chemical Romance and, like, Fall Out Boy. And, like, that whole era was very... pop punk driven that I grew up with, that was popular, especially with where I grew up, because it was very I don't want to say white, but I'm going to say white. It was, Daytona. A lot of people listened to pop. It wasn't very, like, I mean, people listen to everything, but country, hip hop, but there was a pop punk, like, movement that happened, and I feel like I just got drawn into that because I mean, there was a lot of emotions I couldn't express when I was little, so I feel like that.
So do you think music and dance kind of went hand in hand for you? Like,
yes,
did you
Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson. I fucking loved them
Kelly
growing
Clarkson.
up. My Chemical Romance, like, those were...
I was obsessed with American Idol growing up.
Yeah, I loved American Idol, yes. But anyway, stuck with My Chemical Romance a lot, and something about them, like, they were theatrical, but they were still, like, had a deep, like, sense of shit in their lyrics, and it was like, wow, what the fuck. And then one of their music videos had, like, dancers in it, so I was like, oh my god, dancers in a rock song.
You're like, wow, I need to be one of them.
Yes, and I actually, it's crazy that I dance for one of those dancers now. Like, she's my boss, which is crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You also just did, Tinashe's?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
choreography?
Oh my god, that was, like, my whole last year of my life. That came out in January.
What was the show?
It was like a Facebook watch show. So they posted all the episodes on Tinashe and Rock Nation's page.
Okay.
They wanted it to get, like, picked up by Netflix and be like a thing.
A thing?
They might do another one. I feel like they should, but it's very random. My commercial agent called me and was like, hey, we have you booked for a game show the next 3 days. I was like, a game show? What the fuck? And I was like, okay. They're like, it pays $500 a day. I'm like, a day? And then they were like, it's a dance competition. I think it was $500. Maybe it was more. But they were like, it's a dance competition or choreography competition for Tinashe. And I was like, random. I was like, I love her, but I don't remember submitting to this. Yeah. And I'm not a choreographer. And they're like, that's okay. Like,
was that your first choreography thing?
Yeah. I mean, I was creating concept videos, so maybe they saw that on my Instagram. But they were like, yeah, Tinashe helped pick, so, like, it'd be really cool if you did it, and, like, there's only 8 people competing, and
you won it.
Yada yada yada. Oh my god, I was shitting myself the whole time because we only had an hour to choreograph a minute and a half ish to her new songs that have never been released. Yeah. I was like, it takes me 2 weeks to choreograph, like, a combo.
What was your reaction when you won?
I mean, you see it on the video, but I was just like, I was kind of,
Were you
I couldn't
shocked?
believe it.
You couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Like, it didn't process until, like, the next day.
Yeah.
But I think it was just long hours, so everyone was just so tired. Yeah. But I think it processed, like, the next day. I was like, holy shit, I'm choreographing a music video.
For
like,
Tinashe.
Yeah. And which is...
Was it some sort of, like, affirmation? Because you've been out here for a little bit. And, like, you're like, wow, I'm working really hard. And,
it really
and
was.
And it was like, yo, I'm meant to be out here type of deal.
It really was, especially with creating, because I had been doing, like... I did, like, 4 concept videos within, like... Not concept, but, like, put out my choreography... like 4 different videos within 4 months. So that's a lot or within like 6 months. And that's like a lot for me.
Yeah.
Because I think quarantine kind of made me want to put myself out there more. But anyway, it was just an affirmation that those videos were worth it, and me like creating visions was worth it. Like, and I won't stop doing that. And I think that I am trying to get into choreography more.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was an affirmation, because I they went through over 500 submissions, they said. And some of those people that were competing have been teaching for years. Yeah. So that's
beautiful. That's awesome. Where do you think those like ideas come from, like to make those things? Because ideas are really weird to me, because if you think about it, like it just pops up in your brain and you either decide
I'm an Aquarius. It just pops up in my fucking brain, man. We're fucking weirdos. Like Aquariuses, we're always thinking about some shit. And you know what? Growing up,
you think all that shit's real? The
astrology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm out in LA, so I'm surrounded by it. So I've just like kind of...
I didn't know that was a thing, and then I went on a couple dates, and like the first time the girl would be like, "What's your sign?"
I really don't know. I like to know people's signs, but I really like don't tell my friends this, but because some of them really fuck with that shit. So I don't know. It's real.
Natalie's friends will not watch this, guys.
My best friend who really got me into astrology, don't watch this. But I really don't know. I like to relate it. Everybody likes to relate that shit to everything, but I think some of it makes sense. But
well, I also think like once you give yourself a certain characteristic that you read and you're just like, oh, that's me, I'm gonna be this way. So sometimes I think that too. I'm just like, you know, it's just a mystery. It's a mystery.
It's all psychological, like everything out here. What were you talking about before this?
Choreography. The ideas.
Oh.
Because I'm really curious about like, because you think that idea, I read this book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote like Eat, Pray, Love, and her theory
never seen it.
Is
never read
like, for example, in that book, she's an author. She wrote this book about this story. I can't remember the story. And she like kind of like blew it off. And she had like a rough draft of it. And I think 2 years later, this girl that she met wrote this story, and then they compared it. It's like almost the exact same fucking story. What? And it's from the exact same place in this town in Brazil. And like her theory is like ideas, if you don't like grasp onto them and like make it and it's yours, the other idea is going to go to another human for them to like decide and do that. Because like, where do these ideas come from?
Wait, are you religious?
I wouldn't say anymore.
Are you Christian?
I grew up Catholic.
Oh.
My whole philosophy on... That's a whole other story. I found out that my childhood priest like raped a kid.
Okay, yeah, that's where we were going. Yeah, that's why I said, oh.
Yeah, no. But my whole philosophy on life is like be a good person, like be kind to people, live your life as if God exists and all that stuff. Okay. That's my whole philosophy on life. Like just be a good person, be kind to people, and like good things will happen to you.
Yeah, I don't know where those ideas. That's so funny that you say that. It's an interesting concept.
It's an interesting concept.
I grew up like whenever I would listen to songs, I would pretend like I was in a music video. I think that's where my ideas come from. Yeah. I'd be like looking out the car window of the rain and be like, I was that bitch. I was that bitch growing up. But I think that makes my mind just go there when I hear a song. Like, what would this music video look like? But then as I grew older, I'd incorporate dance into it instead of just like, music video. But yeah, so I don't know. I think like any choreographer, you try to bring the lyrics to life. Sometimes it's a little literal, but you can't be too literal, but I really try to do that. And I think that's what Tinashe saw in the choreo cage fight stuff.
It's weird
I
because
really focused on the lyrics too.
Yeah, it's weird for that because like these ideas came to you made this art piece of choreography how long? An hour?
A fucking hour, man.
In an hour. And one of the biggest artists like in this area and stuff like that was like saw your vision and was like, oh, I want her to do this music video.
You know what? She's an Aquarius too.
my god.
That shit is real.
She only chose it because Nat's an
That
Aquarius.
shit is real.
She looked at the birthday and
She
she's
saw
like,
it. She saw my mind. She saw my ideas. And
Yeah.
she's only like, I think 2 years older than me. We're very,
oh really?
I feel like we're low-key
Sisters.
low-key.
Yeah.
We post similar shit sometimes. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Why do you think you're keeping? Why did you take away your blonde look?
Oh, well, it had just been like 2 years. My hair is very thick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to be bleached blonde. Like bleach is very damaging.
Yeah.
And when you have thick, like curly hair and like it's dry half the time, so it just breaks over time.
Really? I feel like your health's super healthy.
No, this was not this. I've never cut these pieces.
Really?
This was because
I
I
feel
had
like if you
blonde.
never cut it, it would be on the ground. It's
I had
that
blonde
long.
on this side and I had blonde on this side. Like I moved it.
Yeah.
Because this side
Was
was
like
like
dead?
this short, and then this over time has gotten this short. So it's supposed to really be like
That long?
at least this
Yeah.
long. Yeah. So over time it just breaks. B, I'm just over it. People change their hair their
Yeah.
looks all the time. And C, I feel like it might have been preventing me from getting jobs.
Some gigs?
Yeah.
You didn't meet long hair Nate. My hair was like right here.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
I was a hippie, bro.
Wait, I need to see it. Wait, what? How old were you when this happened?
22? 21? Yeah.
Did you smoke a lot of weed?
No, not that much. I got like into cigars and then I got into weed after that. I had really bad experience with weed for a long time because it gave me a lot of anxiety.
Oh yeah, it does. I'm
And
sorry,
then
it does.
I did mushrooms for the first time a year and a half ago, and then weed does nothing to me anymore. Like, this is weird. Like, I was really afraid of dying. I mean, a lot of people
You're
are.
afraid of dying?
Yeah, I was.
That's good.
And then I had this mad trip in Joshua Tree with like mushrooms, and then I was smoking a lot of weed and no anxiety, and I was like, wow, I'm a happier person. I don't.
Was
trip
it
about
your
that.
first time doing shrooms?
First time?
So, were you with like friends?
Good friends.
Yeah, good friends in nature. I heard I've never
Yeah.
done shrooms.
It's life changing. It changed my life. I would say I'm a happier person because of it. And I would say
Fuck, I need to do that.
I would say.
Let's go.
I got some right here.
Okay, let's go. I've microdosed, but I did not feel it just because it was like one and I was eating and like,
Yeah.
I was awake. Like I did not feel it at all.
Yeah, well, I think it affected my life of having that fear of dying. And now that fear is like gone, I do whatever the fuck I want. And I don't mean that
God, I need to do
I
that.
don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean in like, oh, this is my life.
Like inhibitions. You have no inhibitions.
This is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it regardless of what anyone thinks of me.
That's amazing.
You know? It's cool. I don't know. That's what shrooms did for me, and like weed now, like it's
I feel
not
like
bad.
that comes with age too. Like when you get to like your late 20s, you kind of just stop giving a fuck about what people think about you too.
Maybe.
Yeah, some people.
There's a lot of people who care still.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
I mean, because it's LA, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, it's hard. I feel like I love LA. I've told this like multiple times. People on podcasts are probably just like, shut the fuck up, dude. But
Yeah.
I love LA because everyone's always hustling. You always learn something from everybody,
Yes.
you know?
There's so much to do out here
And
all the time.
you don't get judged for doing things for chasing your dreams type of deal. Like if you're filming like a dance video and like you're filming every single thing, like in my hometown, like I was filming like workout shit and they're like, yo, what the fuck
to
are
be
you
like,
doing,
you're
dude?
too extra. Yeah, they'd be like,
And then
stop being superficial.
And then
blah, blah,
here
blah.
they're like, yo, keep at it, bro. Like keep doing your thing.
Yeah, there's so much to do. I was just thinking about this today because
I'm never bored out here.
I think one of my friends, I was thinking about. I was
Also,
just catching-
grandma, if you're listening to this, because my grandma's, I don't do shrooms, by the way.
No, he doesn't. But I was thinking about this, like somebody from home was, I don't know how to explain this. But anyway, I was just thinking like maybe they're just lonely or not as busy as I am. Like they wanted to talk to me more, and I'm like maybe they were feeling a little distant. So I'm like maybe they just
Like
aren't
home
as,
friends?
yeah, I'm like maybe they just aren't as busy as I am, so it makes me like I forget to talk to people sometimes, and like there's so much that we're doing out here that I think people that don't live here, they don't realize, and they think that we're forgetting about them or ignoring them, and it's like no, we really are
busy,
hustling as
doing our
fuck.
thing.
Like even on year 7 and 8 out here, like I am fucking hustling. Like there's always something next, like, and unless you're like a ballin' famous person, even then, there's always a next thing.
Yo, a lot of famous people are hustling out here too. You know?
Yeah, and like so busy. But anyway, and it's not frowned upon. And I'm like, maybe because they're not out here, they don't get it. Like they don't get how it's like you can go months without talking to somebody. You really can. And like they
it's
can
not
be
that
fine
you
with it.
it's not that you don't love them anymore, that you're not friends with them. It's just like you're busy.
I know, and it makes me sad that people take that personally, but
it motivates me too when I get home and stuff like that, because I'll see the same people working in the restaurants I worked in high school, and the same people, and I was like, whoa, like imagine the last 7 or 8 years of my life, 7 or 8 years, and you look and they're doing the same thing, and I was like, whoa, you should be proud of yourself, because like, how much have you grown? How much have you learned? How much experience of life have you done?
That's insane to me, how much we can grow as a person out here. But you know what? People are okay and happy with doing that.
I'm not talking down on it at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like, wow, I could have been doing that.
Yeah.
And it's the decisions that you make that change your life. You know, like you decided to move out to LA. I decided to move out to LA for college. And that one decision, if you didn't do that, what would you be doing right now? You know, like
you just wouldn't be experiencing as much, but I guess people like don't care to experience different things, you know, which is fine. Like they can live vicariously through somebody else, which is perfectly fine. But there's just something different in people that makes you want to do more and explore more. And they're just different. They're just cut from different cloths. And it's like, I feel like my family were cut from a little like different cloths. Like everybody's in Florida still. I'm the only person that really moved away. Like my sister fucking moved to the Panhandle for 9 months and got anxiety and moved back. And she was like 20, I think, at least 3 or 4. Yeah. And I moved out here at 19.
Technically, you were cut from the same cloth. So like I know, right? You grew up in the same area.
But my spirit, you know, my Aquarius,
your spirit was
my
built
fucking Aquarius
cut
sign,
in a different cloth.
Adventures, fucking moon rising shit combination made me want to. Anyway,
and that's just giving astrology excuses now. She's like, this is because
this is so LA of me. I'm using my astrology as an excuse.
Yeah. So do you have friends who like will hit you up and you're like,
do
what?
I have friends? Yeah.
So I'm slamming the table now.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. Oh my god, how do we set this down then?
Just softly.
That's softly, and you still hear.
Oh my god, what do you call it? So what? Do you have friends who like hit you up and are like, have you forgot about me? All that shit.
No.
No.
I have like it's random and it's mostly on Facebook, which is why I don't go on Facebook anymore. Which I need to, but it's mainly on Facebook or like a random DM here and there. But I do not have. I was never close with anyone from high school. The one girl I was with, she moved.
That's weird. My best friends are from high school.
Oh God, no. She moved to Denver, and then we stayed in touch until about like 2 years ago, and then we both just got hella busy. But we still follow each other. We don't really talk, but I would be in Denver like once a year for a convention, and I would catch up with her and stuff. But we don't really talk anymore. Yeah. There's like literally nobody from high school I talk to anymore.
Do you think that's important to stay connected with a lot of people?
From home?
Just in general.
In general?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because
a lot of people like thrive off like social interactions, and they get things from other people, and they learn
human
things.
Interaction. Yeah.
But there's also like a ton of geniuses in the fucking world who just are by themselves all the time
and just create the new thing. Yeah, I think that.
And like I don't know which one's better, because like I'll stay at home, I'll read, I'll bartend, I'll make drinks for myself, and I'll come up with these creative things, and I'll be like, wow, you did a lot. Then I'll also go out like another day and just like socialize and have all this life experience with other types of people. And I was like, I don't know which one's better. Like, which one's better for you as a human?
I think it just depends on like the type of, if you're extroverted, introverted, all that shit. But also, I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I think that the most important thing, the most important part about life and living life is other people. And I think that.
What do you mean by that?
Like human connection, and like, I think that if you're alone too much, you start thinking about other people, or you start thinking about like what can I create for people? You know, like I think everything's people driven. Like there's so much like life in this world, and it's because of fucking people. Like I feel like we do everything because of human connection.
Other people. Yeah. I agree, because like anything, if you think about it, anything that good that ever happens to you, or anything that's bad that ever happens to you, you want to tell someone. Like you just don't want to keep that in. Like if you have this successful thing and you're like, you did the show, hey Nat, like book this Tinashe thing, you're not gonna say, oh my god Nat, that was so good, you're just talking to yourself. You're like, no, I want to fucking like, hey guys.
Well,
like,
and then eventually you want people to know when it comes out. Yeah, you're like, oh, look what I did.
Yeah.
Or to inspire somebody. But yeah, I think that the whole point of us being on this earth is to like connect and, you know, connect with just the human race. It's just we're all this, you know,
and helping people just is the best feeling that I've ever got. And I've like the best way to relay that's like personal training. Like I had a client who lost like 50 pounds, right? And he's telling me that he could carry his kid up the stairs and his knees don't hurt and he could get out of his car better. Like that shit, like that feeling of helping someone, like I was like, yo, like regardless of money or whatever, you're like, wow, that makes me feel really good. And that could be from training at F45 or teaching choreography or portraying an emotion from this Machine Gun Kelly song that a little Natalie in fucking Florida is like, fuck, I can't find love. You know? And you made that little girl was like, wow, like that's that emotion, that like concept video is exactly how I'm feeling right now.
Wow. And then other people relate, and then it's like, damn, it's okay to feel like that. Like, but you know, move on or create something beautiful from it, or just like, you know, people take different shit from everybody's like, you know, message or art. But that's crazy that you know, you related all that. You related all that to back around.
What's your definition of art?
To moi. Fuck, I don't know. God, I think it's something that is meant to evoke an emotion. I think that that's literally it. I think it's something that's like an idea from someone's head to evoke an emotion to somebody else. Like that's it.
Yeah. Because objectively, back to our word.
Subjectively, objectively. I don't know what the difference is.
Objectively is like after. Outside, subjectively is yourself. So subjectively, I feel this way about myself. Outside is objectively.
You know what another fun fact is? I was valedictorian of my high school.
No, you weren't.
I'm stupid as fuck. Because I did dual enrollment. So those
you were taking easy ass classes.
Those fucking GP. I never took one AP class, and I was valedictorian.
That makes sense. AP classes were hard.
And because of my fucking dual enrollment, and I got like A's and B plus, like B's in community college, but that counted a lot towards my GPA in high school. So I ended up, and my class was small, but I was technically valedictorian.
That's lit.
The dumbest valedictorian you'll ever meet.
What inspired you to like just move out to LA and not pursue like further college? Because like for me, I was scared. I was scared to do that because just like society just tells you go to school, get a degree, get a good job that pays you well, that sets you up for success, that sets you up for retirement, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I really think a part of it, not the reason, but the part of it was my parents' support with me doing it.
I love that.
My whole life. Like, I think that me knowing I had their support made it a little easier for me to like decide that, A, and B, I think just seeing my friends like, and people who I knew or looked up to do it, and me being like, oh, I want to be like them, or I can do it just like because they're doing it. And it really made me feel good. And like, I wanted that, like, not recognition, but I wanted that like notoriety of,
like you wanted to be seen.
Oh my God. Yes. Like, you know, like I've been,
I'm super confused by that.
I was always a little like, not off, but I was always a little different. Like I really, like I looked cute, and I was.
Were you like a nerd in high school? Like,
I kind of was a little bit. I wasn't like a fucking not cool, but I was definitely like a good girl, like good. I tried to be good. I got straight A's until I was like fucking 8th grade almost.
That's awesome.
I think I got my first B when I was in like 8th grade, and you know, I just tried to not break any rules, and and I never got detention or anything, and you know, I just didn't want to get in trouble.
I think that's very similar to a lot of people who come out here, at least from the ones that I experienced, because even though these people in LA who we know, a lot of them don't have like college degrees, they're pursuing art, they're pursuing their passion, they're pursuing acting, like whatever. They're very on top of it, humans, meaning like if you say this meeting's going to start at 1, I'll show up at 1:45. If you're Nat, she'll show up at 2:05 because like of F1. I'm kidding.
I'm like all the time.
But like to your shit, like probably if something's super important, you're probably there way early, you know? Like if it's like meaningful to you and stuff like that, like everyone out here who's pursuing those things, at least a lot of people who we've experienced, I feel like they're on top of their shit. They're like, yo, this is what I do. I'm gonna be a professional at it.
I think a lot of it's like coming from the competition dance world. You're very disciplined, and also like my home life, I was very like disciplined. Growing up, and it's very much how you're raised too.
Yeah.
It's very much how you're raised. Like, but also I was very quiet and shy growing up. It wasn't like anything my mom or dad did. It is very shocking.
Nat will tell you how it is, bro.
I have no filter. I was at a fucking dinner or brunch the other day, and this girl was sitting like 2 seats from this guy I was talking to, and I was like, "Hey, when did so and so break up with Taylor?" And she was literally 2 seats down with her new boyfriend, and he was like, "Oh, it was last year." And the guy next to me was like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Is she doing this right now?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "When did she break up with so and so?" And she's like with her new boyfriend.
I feel like that's awesome though.
It's such an East Coast thing though. East Coast, we just fucking.
Is that why Kiana's like that? Yo.
Yes.
Yo.
That girl will say whatever's on her.
You too though. What are you talking about? Like I'm very like.
I know, but we have the same fucking birthday. We have the same birthday, and we're from Florida.
Oh my god.
But I think she's a year younger. But yeah, we have the same birthday.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
What do you call it? So what do you most decide for in your life right now? Because you are doing dance still, you're doing choreography, you're doing personal training, you're doing like all these things, and like what is, I guess, most important to you, or like what are you most excited for just in general?
I think what I'm most excited for this next chapter of my life is just to work more as a dancer, obviously, and then really break into choreography in a different way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be hard because my visions and like my style is very particular, but there's always like that's I think doing what people don't expect or doing like new different shit is what makes you great, and what makes the next like, you know, big thing in choreography or in dance and da-da-da. And I feel like that's something that I can bring with, like, you know, my edginess, and then, like, you know, getting into, like, rock for choreography. Not a lot of people
No one does
choreograph
to
rock.
rock.
Which, I mean, there's a reason, but also there is an avenue for it.
I feel like a lot of people just don't have a vision for that type of
There
music.
is an avenue for it, and people are just like, let me just do what's on the radio, which is easier, and what's on TV, you know? And I mean, there's rock on TV, but it is a dying, you know, genre, but I feel like it's something that is just not tapped into with choreography, and I feel like I could totally bring that, and that's my shit. Like,
I would lose my shit if you choreograph something to like AC/DC or.
That's my shit. Okay, yeah. I don't know about Mike. I love My
that.
Chemical Romance, but oh my god, I could not choreograph to that. Like even them.
I feel like you could though.
I could, but like there's like maybe 2 or 3 songs.
Just take some mushrooms and you'll be good.
There's like 2 or 3 songs that people would like receive and be like, oh, that's cool, and then like. Oh, they're just a little too, I feel like, out there for people sometimes, but especially with dancing. But I mean, yeah, I would love to choreograph something to them, but But
what's the feeling of? I've not been on stage much, right? And I haven't performed in front of like hundreds or thousands or like whatever people. I've done like a couple big speeches, like I was my graduation speaker at like my high school, but since that day probably I haven't been in front of like a large crowd. And like you as a working dancer, you experience that relatively consistently. Like what's that feeling of like, yo, I'm putting my art on a stage in front of like a live audience? Like what's your feeling when you're on stage?
I think it's mostly empowering. It is a little nerve-wracking, but because
Do you get nervous artist?
You're being judged. Yeah, you're being judged by everybody, but I think like
I feel like no though. I feel like you feel like you're being judged, but you're just
yeah,
part of the
it's
show.
true. Yeah, but like okay, yeah, because nobody really cares that much.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares that much. But in that moment, it's very empowering because they're watching you. Like there's nothing they can do that you need. Like they're watching your gift, and that's so empowering as a performer and as somebody that's worked on their art their whole life. So I think it's very empowering. You do get nervous, but like
do you get lost? Like, do you just like when you perform, like you just feel like a different person, or like do you feel like a lot of dopamine, or I don't know, like describe that feeling like when you first go on stage and you're just doing your thing.
I think I can't say anything other than it's empowering. Like it's just.
No, that's a good answer. It's fine.
It's just empowering, like, and it is a little. It depends on the performance and like the venue and all that, but it's a little
like
relaxing.
Do you think it gives you some confidence too? Like,
oh yeah,
oh
yeah, for sure. Because there ain't shit they can do. Like you don't.
Yeah.
You don't need anything from them. Like they need something.
You're the
from
entertainment.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it is nerve-wracking, but it's also like, oh, I want to put my best foot forward. Like it's empowering, but it's like, yeah, you're worried about you looking your best and all that.
Have you ever fucked up on stage? Have you ever like fallen or like missed a cue or like done whatever?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't remember like on the top of my head. I mean, yeah, I do this show at the Roosevelt, and there's definitely been a couple times I like do a little like in the heel, like, oh my God, I fucking fumble. And a costume fucking fumbles. Oh my God. I think my titty came out this last show. I had nipple covers on though. I mean, it is a burlesque show, but I had nipple covers on, but my titty was like this top is like a bra that just like is.
It's like a caged bra.
It's just on a fucking rope. No, it's like a fuzzy booby bra, and it's just on a rope, but the tape was like old, and I think it just. And like the last 20 seconds,
like,
my titty was just out. And I think that's why the audience was just like they weren't like yelling like they usually are. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked down and I'm like, oh, okay.
Burlesque is such a like different art. So like I watched what's like Christina Aguilera's what's it called?
Burlesque.
Burlesque.
It's called Burlesque. I've seen it like once, I think.
Really? I've seen it a few times. And like when I had Christina on, she was really trying to describe like the art of burlesque, because it's not like stripping. It's like a tease.
Oh, I heard it. Yeah, I heard that.
It's like an art form. Like you're trying to
like a sexy tease. Stripping.
And like, but it's not though. Like it's not like you're not a stripper. You're not doing that shit. Like it's an art form. It's like also dance. Like you like a lot of burlesque dancers dance very well, you know. And I guess like. How is it doing like a burlesque show? Because like some people obviously see it as not an art or whatever, and some people are like, whoa, like that's beautiful, like I respect the art, I do all that, you know.
Well, I would say the show I do is more cabaret, which is
What's
like more choreography.
Okay.
It's a little more thought out on the directorial side, and like with lighting and choreography and costumes, we're not like improvising a lot. And burlesque is like a lot of improvising and just, I feel like staging and costuming and like production. I mean, this cabaret is more I would just say it's more choreography.
Yeah.
I would just say it's more choreography than a burlesque show. And we're not really stripping.
Do you ever feel insecure when you're on stage in terms of like body stuff? Because like
for sure, because I be watching what I eat before my shows, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm just fuck it. Like I'm just feeling this today. I'm gonna eat whatever the fuck. And then come show day, I'm like, damn, this costume's tight. So I mean, there's been some shows I've had to do that.
I try to put myself in your guys' shoes, and I was like, how was me half naked on a stage? I was like, yo, I don't think I'd be comfortable, bro. Like, I feel like I would try to run every day and do like ab workouts like twice a day.
I mean, that's why like we make working out such a regular thing, is because we don't, when the shows come, we don't feel the need to put the pressure and do like, you know, fucking bust it out the day before. You know, I think that's why we try to do it every day. But
why do you think we care so much though?
Because people are fucking superficial, and it's LA. Like, I don't know. I'm shit talking so much.
No, but also, like, even in LA, though, there's, like, a lot of, like, a movement for, like, body positivity.
Oh, I know, but there's still lanes for certain things.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I don't know, burlesque. There's, like, I mean, of course, I'm sure there's burlesque for, like... like thicker girls or girls that aren't like your typical burlesque, I should say.
Sure.
But I don't know where I'm going with this.
All good. We can see up at what do you call it? Do you have any vision for like future stuff with fitness? Because you're still relatively new.
I am, which is crazy, but I just want to have a lot of clients. I really want to build like my online persona. I created this like Instagram that's in a logo and a trademark.
You did?
Yeah, I
Congrats.
bought a trademark. It
That's
was like
hard.
last
Trademarks
year.
are hard. Trademarks take a while to get through.
Yeah, I think I did.
What's it called?
The Fit Bitch.
The Fit Bitch.
I think Fit Bitch was taken, but I'm the Fit Bitch.
Okay.
So it's the Fit Bitch on Instagram.
Of course it's the Fit Bitch.
The THEE, like Megan the Stallion. THEE Fit
God.
Bitch. Well, because the Fit Bitch was taken. So I had to do the, and I love Megan the Stallion, so it was perfect. So I did the Fit Bitch, but my trademark is the Fit Bitch. And I just want to build that, like, online persona and, like, YouTube and all that.
Why do you want to do that if, like, your main goal is, like, dance and stuff like that?
Because it is still a passion of mine. I've had a lot of, like, body image issues and, like, fitness, like, health issues with that, you know, particular field.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's important for me to, like, help people in a healthy way, like, gain confidence in their body and themselves and live a healthy life that's sustainable.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is
important
another
too?
passion. Yeah, it's very important to me.
What has fitness done for you?
Well, I think getting, like, education in fitness has done a lot for me with, like, overthinking my body, what foods I eat, like, oh my God, what foods I eat. Yeah.
Back to dancers eating. Every dancer I know eats shit all the time, like like fast food, like dessert.
I mean,
like,
it depends on their metabolism, because some dancers watch that shit and they don't seem like, I would say, watch that shit. And then there's dancers like fucking Kiana that just eat. I mean, she eats fine. She eats good, but like her body is like perfect. And she, you know, chows down on some Taco Bell here and there. But I can't remember the last time I had some Taco Bell.
Really?
And my body does not look like Kiana's. So I think it just depends on you.
So you do watch your like diet and stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I also have
interesting.
Yeah, I have a history with an eating disorder, like very bad. So it was a few years, and it like took over my life. So I feel like coming out of that was a big part of getting educated in fitness and food and
understanding it to like make yourself better type of deal. Mm-hmm. Would you have any advice for anybody like suffering from like a eating disorder?
Oh man.
Like, where do they start? Because, like, I feel like people with eating disorders are, like, lost, and they don't know where to start, and don't know what to do, and they don't know what direction to, like, help them get out of it. And obviously, like, you've, like, kind of got out of it. Like,
I've never really been asked that, so it's hard to put into words, but I think that the most important thing is to not keep anything in about it. Like, you have to tell somebody.
Okay.
You have to tell somebody. Even if it feels, like, uncomfortable at first, you have to have that door open for somebody, and then the work is all on you. You can't blame or try. You have to have support, obviously, but you can't rely or tend to like look for the answers with someone else. When it comes to that, you have to look within yourself. Like, I mean, this is coming from a place where mine was a full fucking on addiction. Like, it was an addiction. It wasn't
which
just
side
like,
of it, like eating too much or eating too little?
bulimia.
Okay.
Like, so, both. Like, and throwing it up.
Yeah.
So it's it's pretty much the same shit you would tell an alcoholic or a drug addict. It's the same shit, because your mind goes to those same places when you like.
What places?
Just the chemicals that are released when you do addictive behaviors. You know, it's the same shit. So I feel like it's it's that same shit you hear, like nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. But you have to have support. It's gonna take time. Like, it fucking takes time. So,
like, what's the timeline that you think that you kind of got out of it?
You can. It was years. It was
Really?
over 5 years. So,
when did you realize that you that it was a problem?
Oh God, it was like when my family started being affected by it, I think, and also like when people I lived with started being affected. I think when people I lived with started being affected by it. So that really took a toll on me, like non-family members being like, you have a problem. Yeah. Like, I think that was really it. But yeah, so I have a really, like, if we've ever, like, friends or family have ever talked about addiction, this is why I get so, like, passionate about it. It's because I've actually fucking experienced it. It's a lot, but I feel like we all experience addictive shit.
Oh, yeah.
And are scared to say it, or it just doesn't get that bad.
Yeah. Mine was gambling.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad. Probably when I grew up in Fresno, California, and when I was 18, like, the only thing you could do is, like, really go to the casino. Like, everyone who turned...
Where? Where are you from?
Fresno, California.
There's casinos there?
Yeah, it's a casino. And so, like, everybody who turned 18, they would go to the casino. And, like, I played almost every other night, like blackjack, like poker, all these things. And I ended up, like, winning a lot of money.
How old were you?
18.
Oh, my God.
And I would win, like, $5,000. I'd win a couple $1,000.
Wow.
Like, so by, like, my 19th birthday, I had thousands of dollars in my account. And, like, I was going out, like, buying girls dates, all these things. And I lost everything. Like, $0, you know? And it teaches you a lesson, like those addictive things. It's like, it teaches you that, first, one, I'm happy that I fucked up at a young age because you could learn and build and grow. I wasn't a 45-year-old man with kids who had response.
I know some fucking...
That's calling me girl, guys.
No,
I'm in the
know
club.
some men. No. I know some guys that are grown ass like that still, like, go gamble, like, every fucking weekend, and it's like...
Yeah. No, and I still do it once in a while, but, like, it sounds ridiculous, but I have, like, this gambling fund, like, if you're, in terms of, like, investing, like, every paycheck, like, $20 go to, like, a gambling fund, you know, and so, like, I have that fund to,
like... Oh, so you still want to gamble?
Yeah, no, it's fun.
But you do it in a healthy way now?
No, I have it in a managed way. Like, for example, like, for food, too, like... Example, I don't think I was ever addicted to food, like, or addicted to, like, sweets or anything, but I really loved sweets at my entire life. So, like, I'd be like, okay, cool, you could have ice cream, you could have, like, a scoop, but you can't have the whole pint. Like, you know, like, I built, like, this calloused, I guess, like, mind or whatever that allows you to do those things, but not to extent that's detrimental to you. I don't know what it is with me, too, because, like, a lot of friends, I'm a bartender, and I drink a lot of alcohol, but I limit it to, like, 2 glasses of wine a night, or, like, 2 drinks. When, like, I have friends who are, like, when they start drinking, it's the whole bottle and they're done.
I think it's a maturity thing, too. I think people mature at different times.
There's, like, 55-year-olds who have...
people mature at different times.
No, I know.
Yo, especially, like, emotionally or disciplinary, you know?
Yeah, that could be why that most of my friends are, like, in their late 30s, mid-30s, you know?
Oh, my God. Oh, why? Because you're a mid-30-year-old? Late 30-year-old?
Yeah, in my head.
I mean, me too. A lot of my friends are in their 30s or, like, I get along with fucking 40-year-olds at 45. Like,
no, for sure.
I'm like, hey, what's up? But
I feel like it's life experience, too, because, like, I feel like you relate to people who've lived with similar experiences you have.
Okay.
You know? And, like, if you're, like, a 40-year-old man or woman who haven't done anything with your life in terms of experience, like, you lived at home, did your job, and you just came home and back and forth, like, you can't relate to them. But if you find this 18-year-old who has had, like, 10 jobs, has work gigs,
or who's experienced addiction in their family, or who's, you know, been through addiction.
Whoa, like, we relate.
Like, they get, I don't know, it's something in the eyes, too. You can look at their eyes.
The eyes?
Yeah.
How do you read people? Like, because, for example, for me, I feel like I have good people intuition, and I come in and I was like, you already know, like, 10 seconds in if you fuck with them or you don't.
I think it's a tone. It's a tone, which is crazy because I'm always getting on to about my fucking tone. I get in trouble about my tone.
I love it and hate it at the same time.
My tone?
Yeah.
Everybody fucking hates my tone. Like when I like it's a hit or miss.
I love it because it gives me like, damn, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do whatever I want type of tone.
Yeah, some people it rubs the wrong way, especially if I don't like look at them or pay enough attention to them, and then I combine.
You're a fucking sweetheart deep down though, girl.
I was as a fucking kid. I
no,
really
you
was.
are. You still are.
I was literally quiet as fuck.
You still are.
I would fucking barely talk to adults. I'd be so nice. I'd not want anything. I'd not ask for anything. And,
yeah.
I mean, besides my parents, but
No.
I was very quiet and shy. Even in school, I was very shy.
Yeah.
But I think that turned when I moved out here, too. I think there's so many influences out here. It's crazy.
You gotta deal with bullshit out here, and I feel it makes you tougher.
Yeah, and also, like, going through emotional, like, shit that I have with addiction and with, like, family and stuff like that. I think it just hardens you a little bit, too.
Yeah. Who do you... Well, what... If you had, like, advice to give, like, I don't know, a little Natalie in Florida who wants to be a dancer in LA, or any girl or any boy or any human, like, theys, thems, whatever, like, advice to, like, hey, like, I'm seeing choreographer Tinashe or dance for, like, this burlesque show, and they're like, oh, wow, like, that's so cool, I want to do that, like... I'm taking all these dance classes, and that's my dream. I want to do what she's doing. Like, what advice do you have to, like, those, like, young humans out there?
I think that, I mean, obviously, the obvious thing I would first say is believe in yourself more than anybody else in the world. Like, more than your fucking mom. Like, don't be afraid to believe in your shit yourself. Not like, be cocky, but believe in what you have to offer so much, like more than anyone in the world. So I think that would give you the confidence to be great, and also study the greats. Like don't be afraid to like study who inspires you and really get into their mind so that you can mold that into you, like combine that with who you are, and then be something that's, you know, the new so-and-so, but with your twist, you know.
Who was your greats?
Oh, man. I have a few, like choreographers,
Dancers, choreographers.
Dancers, choreographers. Tassandra Chavez, for sure, is who I think of at first. And then, like, Matt Cady, he used to, I grew up taking from him, and he's choreographed for like Madonna, and like he's so different. He's very weird. They're both very like fusion and a little different. This girl Caitlin Conley, I grew up watching. Dancers, a lot of dancers know who she is, but and then a lot of my teachers, but a lot of teachers I took from growing up, you know, Tassandra Chavez, Matt Cady, this guy Justin Giles. You're like, I don't know any of these people.
I don't know any of them. But
dancers know.
One thing that I do like about that, though, is because, like, everyone has their own style based on the people they look up to. You're like, oh, this is a whatever style. This is whatever style. Like, and you are a combination of all the people that you looked up to because you studied them.
Exactly. And this girl, Mandy Moore, or this woman, Mandy Moore, she choreographed the whole La La Land movie, basically. But she's been around for years. She's like just a little older. And then like Brian Friedman, he used to choreograph for Britney.
Yeah.
You know, like those people are very intense, but very like about their craft. I love it.
Yeah. I didn't know how big choreography was too, because like Keanu was showing me music videos of like Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and like, yo, they don't make pop stars like this anymore.
No. Dirty fucking pop or Slave for You?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was both actually Wade Robson. Wade Robson's another one I fucking love. But yeah.
So,
dude.
So I had this conversation with a friend of mine, like probably 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about like philosophers, right? We were talking about like Socrates.
I don't know.
You don't know any of these? So
I
it's
mean,
like,
I know Socrates. I don't know. I just don't know much about them.
And Marcus Aurelius, like all these guys.
Valedictorian.
And it's similar to dance though, because like we're taking these ideas from all these greats, right? Who have these ideas, and like I think that in some aspect we're slightly smarter and more creative than them, just because like you have the access through the internet to study all these great people.
Are we smarter because we have technology?
I think so.
Okay.
No, I think there's an argument to it, because like
we have more resources to pull from.
Yeah,
okay.
Because like, for example, I don't know, you name one choreographer back in 2000 who you look up to and you're like, this girl's the shit, but like you could study her whole craft and you could know every single choreography she's done
because of YouTube.
Because YouTube, and you could have studied all of Justin Timberlake, all of Michael Jackson, all of Britney Spears, all of whatever, and now you are this version of a choreographer who has this arsenal of movements and studied all these greats. And therefore, even though it's not that time, you're in a different time. Therefore, the expectation for your like level is higher, but you're better than all these people before you.
Or are we just a recycled version of all those people?
Or that.
I think that might be our detriment, because people were so, like you said, where the fuck did these ideas come from that these people had?
Yeah.
Our ideas are coming from what? YouTube and all those people before us. So where the fuck did their ideas come? I think that's what makes them so great. And that's why, like, I think the opposite of what you're saying. I think that's
maybe.
why we're kind of getting more and more saturated, is because we have all this access to all this shit.
Information, yeah.
But I think it's a lot. It's a combination of like the time we're in and how fast we want things. And so we just might regurgitate shit.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. Like we use our resources.
I mean, I don't know the answer. I was just thinking your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I think it's the opposite. I think we're getting a little more saturated because of all the shit we see and we try to pull from it, but then we just fucking regurgitate the same shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough, but I know what you're saying. We do have more resources to use.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to be like, yo, I'm smarter than X, Y, and Z when they're like the goats of all time, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
And time was so different back then. They didn't even have a fucking light bulb, huh?
I mean, they had light bulbs in 2000, girl.
No, I'm saying Socrates and fucking...
Yeah, Socrates.
Yo.
Yeah, they had candles and shit.
Yo, they didn't have shoes.
I think they might have had shoes. I don't know.
They had sandals.
Yo, I only wear sandals every single day. That's all I wear.
I'm from Florida. Don't get me started with sandals.
Yo, Nat wears these crazy boots, bro. Every time we go out, it's just like boots. And then like I saw her in a bikini and flip-flops. I was like, who the fuck are you, bro?
Weren't they chunky flip-flops too? They were like platform flip-flops. They were like platform.
Where did you get your... I just don't understand your... I mean, like, I do understand your style, but, like, it's so unique. Like, no other girl out in Highlight Room is wearing platform fucking sandals.
Or Dolls Kill. Well, I mean, we're just a different breed. I don't think anyone from Dolls Kill is going to be... Or that shops at Dolls Kill is going to be at fucking Highlight Room every other Saturday. But, no, I mean, I yeah.
Are you a goals person? Like, I feel like a lot of people who achieve, like... I don't know.
Oh my God, I need to be. That's the thing. I used to be, but I need to be a little more. I feel like I just kind of go with the flow after COVID. I was just like, yeah, whatever fucking opportunities pop up. And that happens. But I do need to be more goal driven, which I am trying to be as of recently.
Why do you think you need to be that?
Because I think living out here, I've noticed that like people that have a specific vision or lane or goal, they do make that happen, like eventually, or there's something similar to that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the last before COVID, I was lost. Like I was so lost in my dance world, and like
lost in what way? Like you just like, oh, I'm doing this, but I don't really know what I'm doing.
I had a lot of connections with choreographers. I wasn't booking anything, and like I got dropped from my agency, and it just kind of put me in this fucking hole in 2019. People agencies drop people when they're not making them like a shit ton of money. And also this agency was going through like a big change of like agents. Like they completely fired, like, or 3 of them left, and then, so it was like a big shift. So they were dropping a lot of people, and I was one of them. So like all of 2019, I was just fucking lost. And, where was I going with this? Goals. And I think after that, it kind of made me like chill for a second and go with the flow. And then COVID happened, and I was like, what the fuck's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then coming out of it, I kind of was just like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I need to do to survive.
Yeah.
So I think as of like recent, maybe the last like 6-8 months, I've really started to become more goal driven and like, okay, let's make this happen because we're coming out of COVID. But I've known plenty of dancers that are like, I want to book this, and they fucking do it, which is crazy to me.
That's awesome.
Like yeah.
I've experienced like some like downfalls to goals because like if you don't hit a goal that you set, it's kind of like demoralizing, you know?
Well, yeah, and I set high expectations for everything in my life. Like myself, like friends, lovers, like a lot of my family, oh my God. And then they always like, nobody ever
meets them,
not even myself, and then I just get let down.
You're just gonna have zero expectations for people.
Yeah, I gotta have zero expectations
like
for anything.
Yeah, for example, like if you canceled to me on tonight for this podcast, like I'd be like, okay, all right, another day or like whatever. Like I feel like you have to have zero expectations from everyone and accept yourself to be a happy person.
Yeah, it's hard though.
It's hard.
Yeah, when you care about people,
yeah,
it's hard.
It's really hard, but I just think that's like necessary, like zero expectations for, especially in LA, for people to like connect or do whatever, because if you have zero expectations, even the littlest thing is like, wow, that's awesome.
Well, and some people don't even realize they have that expectation. Some people just are like, I don't know, they don't realize they have that like, oh, I feel let down because this person didn't do this. They don't connect that was an expectation.
They're not self-aware.
They're not self-aware.
Yeah.
And I think that was my problem too, like moving out here young. I wasn't that self-aware to be like, why am I depressed because I think this, because this didn't happen? And like, I think growing older, I become more self-aware of like, just control what I can control. Yeah. Which is not what other people do.
No, it's hard.
Or think or feel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damn, we're getting really deep here. I love it.
What do you call it? What you're doing all these things like I've been you are, and I'm trying to figure out myself too. It's like there's a lot of people who believe that if you do too many things, you can't be a master at one thing. And like in my opinion, I feel like you could be really good at a lot of things. And I don't know what it is because I don't know what is true. And like there's some people who have actually like accomplished a lot of things in like fitness and dance and choreography and singing and like whatever. And then there's some people who, I don't know, like Bill Gates, who just is into like Microsoft and technology and whatever, but then there's like Elon Musk, whose Tesla is a tequila. There's Tesla cars. There's Tesla like whatever.
There's Tesla tequila?
Yeah.
What?
There's Tesla tequila.
Is it tequila?
It's tequila.
It's not a car?
No, it's like tequila. Tesla tequila. It looks like a
lightning bolt. Is that Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Elon Musk, you better chill the fuck out.
He has flamethrowers, bro, and shit like that. And I'm just like, wow. Like this man's doing so many things. Yet like,
well, I think you have to get to a certain level of something.
Why?
And then
why?
I think because it gives you that feeling of I've mastered this, I can move on to something else. You know, like
but you can't really truly master something. Like I feel like you can't like get everything right.
Okay, we'll get to a certain level of what you want to be, which could be it's really fucking high up there half the time.
Sure.
So I feel like that is true. You can't be a master of any.
I feel like there's always gonna be someone better. In some aspect.
I mean, yeah.
Unless it's like monetary and you're actually the richest person in the world.
Yeah, but okay. But like, I think, okay, but for you as a person.
Like, how do you measure creativity? Like, how are you more creative than someone else?
Money, success, money.
Are you, though? Like, money. Who was it? Like, Picasso, he didn't get his money until after he was dead.
Well, okay, but your level of monetary success, I don't fucking know. I think it's just like recognition too. I think it's just like who you want, maybe a specific goal. I think it's a specific goal that you reach, and then like maybe you set another one, and then maybe you set another one, and then you get sick of that, and you're like, okay, what else I can do, because I'm sick of setting goals higher and higher.
Yeah,
let me move on to something else.
Yeah, my whole philosophy on like art is to get better at whatever you're doing, because if you're getting whatever you're doing, you're going
endless cycle of bullshit. My whole career is an endless cycle of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
Is it? Why do you say that?
Because it's like you're never good enough. And it's like, for what? For yourself? Okay.
Why is it bullshit, though?
It's not bullshit. I'm just being a bitch.
Hey, Fit Bitch guys, if you guys want
Hey,
to train
Fit
with
Bitch.
Nat, how do you say your last name?
Schervish.
Schervish. Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Got that. If you want to train with Nat Schervish,
Yeah.
go hit her up on
I know
the Fit Bitch.
The Fit Bitch. Yeah.
Is there any like skills or like hobbies that you ever wanted to get good at?
Oh my God, no. Maybe
Besides
painting.
like painting?
I
Creativity?
don't do it, but I would love to be good at painting because I have a good handwriting, and I love like doodling, but I'm not good at it.
Are you the cursive type?
I do the same shit.
Do you know how to do cursive?
Yeah, I do, but
Okay.
but I don't like to do it. I have like bubbly handwriting. My handwriting's good. I like to draw the same shit, like fucking hearts and sunsets and shit.
Do you really?
Yeah, like the S.
I
They're
love
not
that.
good. They're
the
like
Superman S?
yeah, they're like high school doodles. But anyway, I would love to like get into that and perfect it and like really paint. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll take some painting classes now that you say that.
Yeah, I think you'd be a really
Art classes.
like art that always intrigued me is stand-up comedy, and I feel like you'd be good at it too.
Don't. No, it's not stand up. No.
I always
No,
thought because like it's the
not stand-up.
truest form of like what you're saying, but saying it in a comedian manner.
No, but half the time they're lying.
Yeah, half the time
You
they
don't
are.
know if they're making shit up.
That's why it's
or
an
not.
art.
Or you could just call it lying.
Comedy slash
You can make
lying to
lying
people.
an art and call it comedy. Great.
Yeah. I was thinking about this idea about like just first I got high like 2 weeks ago and I just wrote a ton of like comic ideas and think that were funny, and I compared like sommeliers to girls giving like head, and like
What's sommelier again?
sommelier is like, so you taste the wine, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the wine people, and then they're tasting the wine and they're like, oh, I've seen this in front of me in person. They'll tell you the region where the grape is from, where the wine is from, like what type of grape it is, and the year it was like harvested.
Without looking at the bottle?
Without looking
Shut
at the bottle.
Shut the fuck up.
Their palate's so good, and I wanted to compare it to like girls giving head and be like, oh, this guy's Asian from New York, and
Wait, that's a good idea.
No,
wait,
yeah.
wait, how would you do that? How would you can't taste someone's dick.
no, I know it was a joke. Like
Oh.
it's for comedy.
I took
like,
it serious for a second. Oh no, that's a good joke.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about these crazy ideas because like I feel like there's a you could kind of like speak your truth.
Maybe
and, like,
based on
say-
their semen.
No, that's exactly what I was
Oh,
talking.
okay. I think you meant their dick taste.
No, they're just
I was gonna say,
sweaty,
that's very
sweaty
vague.
dick.
Their sweaty sperm. Got it.
Yeah. Dating in LA is hard though. I don't know how I made it work.
It fucking is. You fucking got lucky, bitch.
What's your game
It's
plan?
bullshit. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait until.
Are you an apper? Are you an apper?
I was for a moment, but I think out of having two bullshits, a few bullshits out of the apps,
Yeah.
I think I'm done with them for a while. I go on there for boredom, but
So you're one of those who just replies one time and then if the
oh girl, I will swipe.
God.
Sometimes I'll just like
This
if
is
I.
why you haven't found love, Nat.
Shut
You
the
haven't
fuck up.
followed up.
You know what? I've been hurt. This is what causes that.
I'm fucking with you.
No, but as of recently, I
Yeah.
go on just for fun and just to see if I know somebody. Like if I know somebody I've met, I'll be like, and I think they're cute, and I'm like, let me see.
And then you get shocked. You're like, oh my God,
Oh
they
my God,
swiped
they
right
didn't
first.
swipe, or they didn't swipe, and I never see them again. That happened anyway. Never mind. I'll tell you after.
Dang, it's not podcast appropriate, guys.
No, it's people we know. People we both know.
The tea.
The tea.
Isn't it weird that you'll
I don't like apps
like
though.
This one time there was this girl who I worked with at the UCLA gym when I was at UCLA, and like
Okay.
I swiped right or like I liked her, and it's just weird that like I'll see her like on a relatively every other day thing, and then like we'll match, and I was like, but we don't talk about the match in person.
You didn't?
No.
You didn't?
No.
What?
It was just weird. I was like, why are LA people like that?
Wait, and none of you talked on the app though?
No, we were just like,
Oh, well, maybe because somebody was probably you were probably
no, I was
expecting
just
her.
shocked. I was just shocked.
Well, somebody was probably expecting the other person to bring it up first,
yeah.
or you probably you both knew though.
I don't know. Friend stuff is weird. Friend stuff's weird. Like when you
Friend
know
stuff's
people,
weird.
like when you know people, and then like I don't know. I've only been on apps for like a year when I was like trying to date out here, and like they never were successful.
Well, you know what though? It's like you ever had a dream about somebody and then it's a sexual dream and you're like, fuck, I see them in a different way now.
Wow.
And you're like, and it like worked. You're like, damn,
I thought that
can't
was
be...
just me.
Oh, really?
Kidding.
That's happened? No, but like that's happened where I like become attracted to that person. It eventually fades because I like don't express it, or like they obviously don't feel the same way. But
dreams
like,
are weird.
yeah.
Why do you think like obviously subconsciously you're thinking about that person, or you're thinking about some tragedy, or you're thinking about some this good thing, and like you wake up and you're like, whoa, like what the fuck just happened in my head those 8 hours that night?
Yeah, it's like a certain part of your brain that wants to like fucking wake up when you're asleep.
I think
it's
about
weird.
it's like similar ideas. You're like, where did that come from?
It's shit you think. For me, dreams is like shit I think about a lot.
Really?
Like, and then like right before bed, I won't be thinking about them. But if it's something that's been on my mind, I will dream about it. Like most of the time I don't remember my dreams as of late, but when I do remember my dreams, it's shit that I've been thinking about. I feel like because I have a lot of anxiety too, so I like really think about shit sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I've heard this definition of like depression and anxiety is like depression is when you are like living in your past and you're thinking too much about the past and you're just depressed about it. And anxiety is like, oh, like you're thinking too much about your future, just all these things, these next steps, tripping about a date, tripping about your career, tripping about whatever. Do you think that's accurate?
I think it's very accurate because the only things that make me sad is like what's already happened.
And then anything that's making you anxious. Anything
that's making me anxious is like an expectation that hasn't let me down yet. And if it's let me down, then it's already happened. That's in the past. So I feel like that is very true.
Yeah.
It's a very accurate description.
Yeah, it's weird because I haven't felt those feelings in a long time because I think I was depressed in college and I think I had anxiety.
You think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What made you think you were depressed?
I mean, like I would, I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the podcast. Like I was sitting on top of my apartment building at UCLA and I was smoking a joint and I was sitting on the edge where my feet were hanging. And
you were like, what if I jumped?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa. And it was
that the first time you had that thought?
First time. And it was probably like 10 seconds and I pulled myself back and I was like, you piece of shit, why would you ever think that? Right?
Okay.
And then like a few years later, I would always think about shit in the future and I would just like get shaky and do whatever. But for the past like 3-4 years, like I'm very present and I am a very happy guy.
No, you are. You are. I mean, I only met you last year, but... Yeah, depression hits everybody different, I feel like. But that's crazy that you thought about that because that's not a normal thought.
No, I know.
That's not a normal thought.
Yeah, but like
What would you think leading up? You were like sad or thinking about like, were you just anxious about
No, I don't think I was anxious. I think I was depressed. I think I was sad about, I didn't want to.
What behaviors did you exhibit that made you think you were depressed besides that one incident of you like being suicidal?
I just didn't want to go to school. I didn't like school.
Okay.
I was tripping out about like an ex relationship. I was
okay.
Like all these things.
Self-worth was like,
I was like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Your self-worth was like going down.
Like it just and then like now, like back to I don't care about with anyone, family, friends, whatever. I'm just gonna do whatever I want and I'm gonna help as many people as I can and try to get my bag and just live an amazing life.
Get my bag.
You know? Yeah. And like it's I'm just curious about those feelings because I don't know what made me to not feel those ways and feel that way anymore. Maybe it was just like fucking a ton of self-help books during COVID or like whatever. But it's interesting to hear those perspectives because one, they're real and a lot of people experience them. And two, I'm just curious about like, because I've had some friends commit suicide, to be honest, and do those things. And I'm just like, where their head at? And like, if there's any way that you could like, hey Natalie, you look beautiful today, you look amazing, like just does that one comment like really like, oh, she's very depressed about her look right now and whatever, like just tell people they look beautiful, like they're amazing, they're kind, and like you love them. That's why I say like my bros like who are like totally squares.
It's very hard though to come across people that actually mean it like you do. Like it's really genuine when you say it, and I feel like some people it doesn't come off because I don't know. They might have not had that journey that you've had. And they might have like feel like they need to say it because of somebody else like somebody else's journey, but it wasn't their journey, you know, like they feel like they need to be that light when it's like they never went to those dark places to become that light. So it's like, it doesn't seem genuine. And I feel like you've been in those dark places to become that light. I've been in those dark places, but I don't care to be that light because because I know that everybody's like there. I mean, there's people like you. There's like people that aren't afraid to do that. But I feel like I've experienced like my own shit enough to be like, okay, people will act the way they act because of, you know, I don't know. Like I love helping people, but like emotionally, it's different for me. Emotionally, it's like you know, and I'm nice to people and I'll compliment them and like but
you just told me like in the beginning of the podcast,
like it will change their life.
You just told me in the beginning of the podcast though, like life is a people's game. Like
it is. I know. But
that's
emotionally,
yeah.
I think like human connection. But I don't think that. Fuck. Let me take a drink. I don't think you should rely on somebody else to make you feel better. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But human connection and like sharing your moments and your life and your experiences is a human connection. But I think having somebody to make you feel better is not something that I like to do or like to.
I don't think it's purposefully like that. I read this thing the other day that said like these people like Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they don't do like this fake networking shit that LA is, right? All they do is provide their close friends with like a good experience of who they are, treat them very good, and like they just focus on like being a good person to the people around them. Yeah. And that's good. And they get all these other, I guess, benefits objectively from just organically, like, and it's not like pressing, like, for example, like I'm not trying to press a good, and I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, Nat, like I do this dancing thing, we should collaborate, oh my god, like
oh my god, I've learned to like recognize that shit and to not be like that, because oh my god, even like the burlesque show I do, people are like, hey, if you need girls, like, tell her to hit me up. I'm like, that's not how this works, but thank you so much.
The thing is, like, yo, they see you and you're performing, you're giving it all out, and you're being the best burlesque dancer, your titties falling out, like all the above.
Like people, like there's some cool people that come to watch
and
that show.
And they're like, yo, I want to be in that girl's life.
I know, yeah, and I appreciate it, but it's like, it's not how, there is a certain way, and like, yes. So I really do. That's crazy you said that about Elon, and like, because I feel like that is how shit works in the world.
Truly, like LA is very like, I went to a Hollywood Hills party to network about like the Bitters company, right? Okay. And it was an all white party. You have to dress in white, and like I go in there and
I hate that all white party.
And everything was fucking fake. Like, I was standing next to Arnold Schwarzenegger's son and a fucking, like, all these influencers. And they were just like, oh, my God, what do you do? This, that. Like, they were just talking about, like, fast fashion. They asked,
what do you do? Did everybody ask what you do?
No, kind of, yeah.
That's, like, the last thing you ask somebody in real life. Yeah. Like, that's, like, not... Even at, like, the gym, I hate asking that. And, like, I think not one of our managers, but, like, somebody was like, yeah, I hate asking people what they do. Because it's, like... It has to do with, like, how you can afford things, too.
The biggest thing I like asking people, like, the biggest question that I already asked you in this podcast is, like, what are you most excited for? Because anybody could be like, I'm excited to move to my new apartment because, like, it gives me freedom. I'm excited to do this dance gig because, like, I worked so hard to achieve this tour or this dance gig. I'm so excited to, like... work this new job or start this podcast.
Well, I'm excited to get my website up if that's like a short-term goal you're asking. My website is going to be up soon.
Was it for what?
For choreography. Okay. I'm just formatting all my choreography rather than fucking directing them to my Instagram or YouTube, which has like fucking 6 followers on it. Okay. Follow my YouTube. It's my name. Natalie Schervish. Schervish. Yes. Just Google my name. And so I'm going to get my website up to make it look more professional to where I can like send it off to, you know, agents, managers, and all these people I want to work with or work for and be like, hey, this is my shit. Hire me. Blah, 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 blah. Because, yeah, choreography is kind of hard to get into. And I feel like agents, It's tough to have an agent for choreography these days.
Is it important to have an agent?
Not for choreography, I would say no these days.
What's the gay guy
The gay guy?
who does a ton of choreography for heels? He's like, I think he's black. Kiana dances with him a lot. Just with a C.
Cisco?
Cisco.
Okay, yeah, he's mixed, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he kind of blew up out of nowhere type of deal.
Yeah, because
he did it all on his own.
I do remember him as a dancer when I moved out here. I do. And I really don't know how the blow up happened, but I think it had to do with him just filming his shit really good and being really consistent with it. And having
consistency and content.
Oh my god, consistency is the best. But having amazing, perfect dancers do his shit for his shit. And I think that was very, and it was such a niche, or not a niche, it was very cool because a lot of people were doing hip hop in heels or like harder dancing in heels, and he was doing like more fluid and more sexy and like lines and
why do you think that is? Because like I feel like when I think hip hop I don't think heels, and then I see like Tyga's girls with heels going like in twerking and doing all this shit.
I think it's always been a thing, but I think it's just something that was brought to class, and then when class videos blew up in 2015, 16.
Yo, YouTube class videos go off. I didn't know it was a thing.
It blew up in like 2015, 16, which is crazy. And then people wanted to see more heels, and I think like artists like Chris Brown started recognizing those, and like everybody kind of wanted to be
Chris
recognized.
Brown's so talented, man.
He is, yeah, he is. He's great. And people really wanted to get noticed by the artists too. So I feel like
if you had to work with anybody in the dance industry, who would it be?
My first number one would be Pink.
Really?
I love her.
Really?
I don't know about choreography dance. I would love to dance for her, like work with her at all. I love her. And her music's like what I grew up on too. I love it. But definitely Machine Gun Kelly. I think he needs at least.
He doesn't have that many dancers.
He doesn't have dancers. He doesn't at all. But he could. He likes to bop around.
What's bop around?
He knows how to move. Like he moves, but because he's an actor, like he knows how to physically use his body. But he needs like a movement coach. Like he needs somebody to tell him where to go in this part, where to go to the.
I think that'd be cool.
At least that, and then like incorporate dancers because his songs are very poppy.
When you dance for Machine Gun Kelly, I'm gonna have you back on the podcast.
Oh my god, I'll bring him on. No, he actually used to come into my old job, but he was really nice. Like he was always really nice, and he would always just get a coffee, and he was like so skinny, and like in my head I'd be like, "Do you want food?" Like I'm just
we got to get you some protein,
really
bro.
Nice. Yeah, no, he's nice. And his people were really nice too.
It's weird seeing Megan Fox like with him, like because you portray.
She's a fucking icon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's a fucking. She kind of like dipped off a little bit after she did all her movies, but she was young. She was like 22 when she started, like 20.
Younger, maybe.
Yeah, literally.
Yo, she was like goals. Like
she was.
When I was like 13 or 14,
perfect.
watching like Transformers, I was like, oh my god, this girl is like.
She was younger
so
than
hot.
us in that for sure. She was so.
She's blessed.
She is very pretty, but
blessed.
And anyway, yeah, he came in on the phone with her one time. I heard her like on speakerphone, but he was really nice. And then around the time he was coming in, I met him when he was still a rapper. And then like during,
I was about to say he went from like rap to like rock pop.
I think it was like 2018 was when I first saw him come into my work, and then like 2020.
Where were you working?
It was a smoothie place in Sherman Oaks.
Heck yeah.
It's just a smoothie place in Sherman Oaks, because he lived like very close. Somebody said, but then he made the change, and then I was like, wait, I fuck with this, and then he randomly like reposted me headbanging or some
Did he
shit
really?
to his song. It was a long time ago. Oh my god! And I was like,
You probably lost your shit.
I did lose my shit. I was like in a class, and then I came out with all these like new followers, and I was like, holy shit! And then I kind of got into him a little more, and then I was like, wait, I fucking love his songs. Like, his lyrics, Travis Barker helps him with, like, all of his songs and the music.
He's a solid drummer.
He's amazing. And, like, this other guy, he uses kind of, like, the same team to make songs, but the lyrics, oh, my God, I was like, it's so quintessential pop, and some people think it fucking sounds the same. Like, some people have said that, but the lyrics and like the message of every song is so, it's so amazing, and it hits fucking home to me. Like there's something about every one of his songs that, but he is very dark. He's a dark, have you seen his documentary?
No, where's it on?
It was a little darker than I expected. It's on
Really?
Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's on Hulu. It's great. I've watched it like 8 times. Like 5 times.
That's like
it's
me.
Great.
I watched the Michael Jordan doc like probably 5 or 6
He's
times.
so good. Like he.
Why was it great? Why did you watch it so many times?
Because he got really dark into like his life.
Yeah.
And
why do you think a lot of artists have like a darkness? Like it's kind of scary sometimes. Because like a lot of artists, a lot of poets, a lot of musicians, a lot of singers, a lot of rappers, a lot of anybody who like really puts their life into art, puts their life on a canvas of some sort, is like they need to do it because there's just like there's some darkness there.
I think it's like a combination of how they were raised, maybe a major life thing that happened with a death or an addiction or an accident or something that happened to make them feel all this shit, and also who they looked up to growing up. I think like how they were raised, a life event, and who they looked up to as like for famous people, and like also something in them that needs to be expressed that they never feel like they can get out. And I feel like that has to do with, I feel like that's something that all artists kind of share, is something, I don't know, maybe just being misunderstood. I feel like a lot of people feel that misunderstood. I feel like that's
accurate. The misunderstood thing, it's like they just want to say what they want to say through the lens that they want portrayed as.
But yeah, nobody like gets it.
Like it's really sad because if you look at like Robin Williams, right?
Oh my god,
funniest guy, all these
him.
shows, like very quote unquote successful, but like it's like.
But he still ended up committing suicide, which is insane to me, which is kind of wild to me that him, oh my god. And
do you think you're gonna do what you're doing right now for a long time? Because before you answer that question, like I feel like it's a lifestyle, what everyone do, and like for me, all the things that I'm interested in. So I would say like working out, podcasting, doing stuff with alcohol, like, or like making bitters. I'm just like, yo, I'm interested in this. I'm gonna get better at it. And there's like no plan B. I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna do that.
I think that dancing's always gonna be in my wheelhouse of career, like money making career, something, teaching, something like that. So I feel like that and fitness, it might merge into like an equal split, but dancing's definitely like the most passionate, like something that's
like,
number one.
Do you have this vision in your head? Because you said you're thinking about goals or like whatever. Like you have a plan of where you're gonna be eventually. You don't know the year.
No,
like,
because you know what? Something I've learned about like recovering from a deep addiction is just take it one fucking day at a time.
Yeah.
I can't, like, there's something in me that's like, I can't think that far. I just need to think about one day at a time, what's next in the next few months, and that's it. Like, I can't, at this point in my life, I can't think that far ahead.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know.
I think that's healthy.
Yeah, and I can't have that expectation. Right now, I'm just like.
But, like, again, objectively, you look at your life, you've achieved, like, a lot of things, like working with great dancers, working with great artists, working with great people in your artwork and your choreography. And like if you look at yourself when you're like, I don't know, 12 years old, when you'd be a professional dancer, you're like, yo, I'd be proud of that girl, low key, you know?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I'd be like, damn, you're 27 already? I'd be like, damn, you're 27? But no, I don't feel 27. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, what was it? Christina posted.
You're 25?
I'm 25.
Oh my god. COVID hit when I was 25. I was so pissed. I had just turned 25 and COVID hit. Anyway, Christina posted what?
Christina posted this thing that like what LA 32 is like so LA 32 is the new like 22 or something like that.
Oh, I think
You know
I
what I'm
saw
saying?
that. Yeah. And 40 is like
I don't remember.
something.
It's weird because I see friends at home who are in their like my age who have kids, bought a house, like have
You
a
said
yard.
32 is the new 22?
Like if you're in LA and you're 32 is the new 22.
Oh, yeah, because people don't get fucking married till they're like 40 out here. And people get married at like 25 out back home.
Yeah.
And that's like late. And they have a kid by 27 at least.
Yeah, it's weird. One of my best friends just had a kid 2 weeks ago, and I'm just like, wow. That's interesting because I can, you know, it's like, can you imagine taking care of another human being right now? Just like little gnat in your
I can't even have a
hands.
dog. I've never had a dog, and everybody knows I love dogs. I can't even have a fucking dog right now, and I live alone. Like, that's just, I can't.
You just gotta find love, and
It's just,
your
well,
love will
also
take care
the
of your
fucking
dog.
economy sucks ass right now. And
Why do you talk so negative like that?
me?
Yeah.
That's how I was raised. That's literally the house I grew up in. That's how we talked.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking ass shit.
Do you
Fuck that.
You know, I get that, but like, I feel like that might be detrimental in terms of like why would you why would you ever speak that over you in terms
Speak
of
what?
just like the economy's ass. I can't
I don't
do this.
get a
that.
dog. Yeah.
You know, I can't get
it's
a dog.
the kind of humor too that I was.
No, I get, but like, for example, like, I'm never gonna find love or do these things because of that. Like, you saying those things.
I didn't say I was never gonna find love, bitch.
Okay. You get my point. I haven't had.
No, but I don't deserve love, or I never
yeah.
had love. Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and
I get it.
like, you saying that subconsciously. Like,
Trust me, I'm working on that.
No,
That's
I know.
something that came up actually that I was thinking about the other day. That like
Yeah.
I think about a lot of shit.
I was like, because like whatever you say, in my opinion, like.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Even if you joke about it, you have to be
Yeah.
careful about what you joke about.
Yeah.
You really do. And that's good that you said that because I really need to be careful.
I mean,
about what joke
I don't know if that's accurate.
Well, because when you
No.
joke, there's like it's 90% truth. You know, I swear to God. No, it really
That's
is.
science, guys. That's
It's
science. So every
90%.
90% truth every time you joke. That is science.
Be careful what comes out of your fucking mouth, even when you're joking. You gotta watch everything you say these days.
I think I'll end it there. That was a good one. Be careful what you
Period.
say, guys. 90% of jokes are science.
Are true.
Are true.
You speak it into existence and it happens. So
Yeah.
fucking watch your mouth.
Where can everyone find you, Nat?
Instagram F45. I won't tell you your location.
Are you excited? Nat coaches at every
No
fucking
stalkers.
location. Have you had experience with stalkers before?
No, but I've known a lot of dancers and also like NBA dancers.
Really?
Yeah, like they're fucking. We had one at another F45 I train at, and he would take presents too, and we had to call the cops on this guy a couple times,
Damn.
and she had a trial for it. Like
What?
she had a restraining order, and he broke the restraining order and came to F45, and she had to go to trial for it.
What?
Yeah, which I mean, I've never, knock on wood, have had a stalker. I've had creepy guys on my DMs, but what
Yo,
girl hasn't?
what's up with the dick pics? Like,
What? Well, how did we get here?
no, because like a lot of girls get dick pics, and I'm just curious. Like, I've never sent a dick pic in my entire life.
Good.
And I'm just like, why do dudes just randomly send dick pics?
I don't know. Don't ask me because we don't ask for them. We don't ask for shit.
So I'm just
It's unsolicited. 99% of the time
is it an LA thing? Like,
No, it's not an LA
It's
thing.
just like
It's
you-
a everything.
Ah.
I've had a dick pic from somebody from high school where I'm like, how did we get here? And it was like somebody like in the last couple years, and I'm like just catching up with him, and then next thing you know, he gets drunk and sends a dick pic, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like the next morning, I'm like, where did this come from? I think it's just a guy thing. You better ask your homies that. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me that shit, because I have no idea.
it's weird because like I've never asked a dude that.
I said, what up with you?
Yo, it's weird because like I have like chick friends. Like I feel like I have a decent amount of chick friends, and like they're always like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "What?" Some dude sent me a dick pic. I'm like, "How? Why?" Like
I don't give a fuck half the time. I'm like, delete.
No, I know, but like I'm just like the psychology of like a man's brain. Like, why would you want to take a like? They're not pretty looking.
They're not. They're like, they might be a good size, but it's like over picture you can't tell. But like, even then, who cares if it's not like there right now? Who gives a fuck about
Yeah.
a picture of a dick? It's like a picture of water to somebody, you know.
A picture of water?
Thirsty. A thirsty person, you send them a pic of water. Who gives a fuck?
I don't think that was a good analogy. Thirsty person, you send it water?
Yeah, it was. It was a good analogy because fucking guys are thirsty if they're sending dick pics, you know?
So you're just going to send them water?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll send them pictures of fucking water. You're like, you thirsty motherfucker.
Drink this bitch.
Here you go, you thirsty motherfucker. God damn.
Right. So we could find that. If you guys want to train at 45.
I'll cuss you out maybe a little bit. But yeah, Instagram.
Are you accepting personal training clients right now?
I am. Please hit me up. I'm in the Valley.
What do you say like your style of personal training is?
Ooh, I like strength training. I will do a hit in like, you know, conditioning if you want, but I like strength training and really focusing on technique and like form and just giving you a solid hour of personal training. I know some people do 45 minutes, some people do like take their time, but just like a solid hour of, you know, what you want to work on. I tailor it to you too. But
before we conclude, what do you think the importance of fitness is for the human?
Ooh, I think I experienced this today. I always say, oh my God, I've been saying that all podcast. I actually thought about this today.
Nat had a lot of thoughts today. She was like...
a lot of experiences in the last week. I didn't want to go to the gym today, and I made myself just to do a little cardio and like a little shit that I wanted to work on.
Which was what?
Just like the step trainer, like under my ass, underneath my booty, like my inner thighs, like that kind of stuff, like little stuff. I didn't lift too heavy because I didn't lift heavy at all because I was running around all day, and I did like a little workout. I did the F45 workout.
Sure.
But after I felt so much better, my body felt like, you know, endorphins do release. Like some chemicals do release that make you feel more comfortable in your body. And I think especially if you have anxiety or like are very tense as a person, it helps with that. It really does. And it regulates your metabolism and all the bullshit we have in our food these days. It helps like flush that out. So I feel like exercising is so important. It should be more regular than it is in people's regimen. Like, I don't know how regular it would be if I wasn't in the fitness world or like dance world.
Because it's weird when you think about like, you put yourself in like regular human shoes. Like, a lot of people, especially in the United States, don't work out.
It's crazy.
And you just think about that. It's
and
like,
they eat shit.
And it's like, what type of human would you be if you didn't, like, do movement?
They eat shit and they drink a lot, like a few times a week. Yeah. And that's not good.
Yeah. The second question before ending, what do you think the importance of art is in the world? Because, like, I feel like it's necessary, but it's also not. Like, if...
I was also thinking about this today. I was thinking about how I swear.
Don't lie, Dad.
I swear, God, I swear I was thinking about this today. How not today, maybe not today, but maybe the last couple days.
Yeah.
But how people still don't appreciate art. Like how people still don't appreciate. Like they think art is bullshit. That it's just like whatever the fuck, and you call it art.
I also do think it's somewhat bullshit in the sense that like there is a painting, right, and someone says it's like $1 billion. I'm like, how the fuck is that thing $1 billion?
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough question, but I think like in general, people like shrug their shoulders or they don't care about art, or they think it's hard for people for certain people to recognize it. And I think it's important because it does evoke emotions, and it's the reason behind movies. Everybody enjoys movies, even if you don't like quote art. Movies are an art. Fucking acting is an art. Like putting together all those set designs and all that shit is an art. Yeah. So I think that it's so important with every aspect. Like even that photo is an art, and like who captured that moment, they saw that and they said, ooh, let me get that on fucking forever. Yeah. So I think that there's little things that people don't realize are art that we consume every day that's like so important to sharing the human experience. Yeah. Back to human connection.
I love that.
Period.
All right, Miss Nat, Coach Nat, everybody go train with her, hit her up. Do you do dance classes too, or like choreo?
I'll do a dance private, but I should teach more. Yeah. Not beginner though.
Yeah, she's a high key stud and really good at what she does. She won't like admit it, but she's extremely talented.
Thank you, thank you. You are too. These drinks were great, and I'm not a gin girl. Is this gin?
It's bourbon.
The one before was bourbon.
No, the one before was gin.
I mean, the one before was gin.
All right, everybody. Miss Natalie Schervish.
Thank you so much,
Schervish.
Yes.
You guys check her out, and thanks for listening. Appreciate all you.
Thank you, Nate.
Bye.
Bye.